right, it's Wednesday. Time to waste some time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. Boy, are we going to have a fun time today. Stevie Rachelle is back. Stevie Rachelle from the band TUFF and from Metal Sludge, the website, and all the other things as well. But he'll be here. Last time he was on, we had a lot of interesting topics. Some people thought we worked a little blue that night. A few females thought maybe we were a little racy. Those females were not complete whores, but they listen. Tonight could be a very mature philosophical discussion. I wouldn't hold your breath. Johnny Monaco is supposed to be here as well. He has been very busy. He's up to all kinds of things. So maybe Johnny Monaco will pop in and pop out as the night goes. So we're here. We got a lot to talk about. Steve will be here in a little bit. Johnny should be here in a little bit. So before we get too crazy, we should say stick around. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody I'd rather waste time with than you. All right, everyone's pouring into the room. A lot of people here. I'm expecting a big turnout, and I thank all of you. Going to get to some of your questions and comments in just a minute. A lot of people enjoying the latest tour diary. I believe it's episode 6 in this ongoing series, and it is the one where 2 members get COVID in the beginning. One did get it afterwards as well, so it was 3 total. Knock on wood, I was not one of them. But you get to see behind the scenes. You get to see how Johnny was hired to join the band, and a lot of people really enjoying that one. It's a long one, so but thank you for watching, and I'm glad you like it. I will tell you that there are 2 other tour diaries already edited and finished, and they'll come out every Monday. And right now, this first leg, as they say, is probably 12 episodes, and then I'll be going out and starting up again on the next part of the tour, which Stephen calls the Legacy Tour. And we will be celebrating 40 years of Rat. Can you believe it'll be the 40th anniversary of the Rat EP? So that's coming up. So I want to make sure that watch the old ones if you haven't seen them yet. And if you're not a Patreon, now is the chance to sign up for Patreon. The link is in the description. There's different tiers. And in one of the tiers, you can ask questions of the guests, but also you watch all the videos before everyone else. So the next episode that comes out next Monday, or whatever it is, people are already watching that, my Patrons. And so I email those to everybody, and they're going to get another one. And also they've already watched Friday's interview, which is with Alan Childs from David Bowie. He did the Glass Tiger Tour in 1987 with Peter Frampton on guitar. And Alan Childs is not a household name, but I believe it's a great interview. I usually do these interviews and then I say I was terrible, that one was awful, and I cry myself to sleep. I didn't think Mark Ferrari was my best interview. Mark was great. That one came out. It's making news. People really enjoy it, and I'm happy. I'm happy that you guys like that one. So you check that one out too. Also, Patrons watch that one before everyone else. So Alan Childs is this Friday, 10 a.m. If you're new to this, how this works, the video will premiere at 10 a.m. on YouTube. I'll be in the comments in the discussion, and we can talk while the video plays, while the interview plays. And then after that, and you watch at that time with no ads. We watch it together. Then after that, it goes into a continuous loop for the rest of eternity, and you can catch up whatever you missed. So that's every Friday. So right now, the way this show works is every Monday at 10 a.m., there's a tour diary, me on the road with Stephen Piercy. Every Wednesday, we're going to do this live, and every Friday, a new interview. And I'm going to try my best to stick to that. So some programming notes. Michael Sweet has rescheduled. Hopefully he will show up, and that interview will be coming up soon. Kane Roberts emailed me last night. We've been going back and forth for a while, but I believe he's going to come on and talk about things with Alice Cooper. Wednesday, December 21st, mark your calendars, is going to be the annual Christmas special. Going to have a lot of special guests. Oz Fox just sent me a link. Every Christmas Oz would come out and we would do a Toys for Tots charity, and Oz would play Feliz Navidad. And he sent me a mashup of Van Halen and Jose Feliciano called ain't talking about Feliz Navidad. And it's great. These people think of these things. So if you're on the YouTube, you can check that out. But anyway, I'll also be here for the Christmas special because by law you have to have at least one Christian on the show. And for the rest of you who aren't believers and you want to just celebrate the birth of Santa Claus, that's okay too. I'm excited about the holidays, as you can see behind me. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Okay, so those are just a few programming notes. Also, I've been getting a lot of people ask me to come out and appear at places when we're on the road with Stephen Pearcy. I sound like a douche saying that. I feel like a douche saying that. But anyway, I'm happy to do that. Come out to some record stores and meet some folks and do the show live. And maybe we can help some small businesses and promote in the process. So stay tuned. I'm going to be in McHenry, Illinois on December 16th with Stephen Pearcy. So you go to the Vixen Theater and you can see the Stephen Pearcy band. And you can when we can hang out as well, and you'll be on the show. We'll film you as well. I say film. There is no film, and then I think we might do something at a record store. So we'll see, and hopefully I'll get to meet some of you. I'm most excited about Illinois because they have a Christmas Vacation Illinois State Lottery card. It's a scratcher. It's $2. I hope I can find them. I hope it's not too late in the season because I want to buy a bunch of them and then scratch them here on the show. And as you can see from all the stuff behind me, I have a massive collection of Christmas Vacation things and all vacation things. So I hope to see a lot of you in McHenry, Illinois. It's going to be fun. And okay, so I got to that. I told you some other stuff. Let's see what some of you guys are saying because it's enough about with me. And let me put on my sophisticated glasses so I can read what you're saying. All right, who's here? Danny Garcia from Texas. Danny's a good guy, worked with us. Frank is here. Frank, already, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Definitely helps the channel. You know, this entertainment isn't costing anything, but if you have it, it's appreciated. Anyway, does Steve remember playing at Banquet Hall in the early 90s? In New Windsor, New York, any members of the show? Well, we'll have to wait till he gets here and we will get back to that question. All right. Skylar's here to waste some time with us. So far, I'm the only one. They'll be here soon. Stevie Guns, no relation to Tracy Guns or Stevie Rachelle, is here. Leo Slayer is here. Here's Nick. I hope Jason as well. I think I'm doing all right. Hey, here's Michelle. There's my favorite. Hooray for the new Christmas background. Michelle put up my Christmas tree, which is over there. Maybe we'll show that later. That's her Christmas stocking back there too, next to the Clark Griswold Build-A-Bear. Stephen is looking for some tranny talk. There was some controversial moments involving a transsexual. If the guy from Spectacle Eyewear is watching, my glasses are crooked. He didn't make these. This came from the fine folks at that boutique Walmart. But I need some glasses like that. You know, he made me the famous glasses that you guys all know and love. These are the I wore these to Scotty Griffin's wedding, and but I need something. I need something else. All right, let's see here. Michael Perez looking forward to tonight's show. Michelle Simon is here. And Danny Garcia again. Rock and Roger, ready to waste a little time. We have 105 people in the room now. Dash Rip Rock. Hello from Oakville. Perfect. Gary Chance Films. And let's see. And Stevie is in the green room, so he will be here very soon. Jason Holstein, thank you. Mark Sanchez. Aaron Judge was the big news. A lot of these San Francisco fans were running with false information yesterday that Aaron Judge was going to sign a contract with the Giants. And a friend of mine, I was at the doctor's office, and someone texted me that Aaron Judge had signed with the Giants. I knew that was bullshit. The Giants made an offer, and the Yankees matched the offer, and he stayed. It was obvious the Judge wanted to stay as a Yankee after that amazing season. It would have been insane to let him go. He's the future of the franchise. He's now the most expensive player in history. $360 million, 9 years. Hey, well worth it. I'm excited. All right, enough sports. No one here wants to talk about that probably. But has the flu come back yet? It sure has. Everyone, I'm scared to hit the road because everybody is getting sick. Dr. Paul is here. He can give us some advice on what we should do should we get the flu. He is an expert. And he's saying what he learned from the tour diary is that the biker from the Village People sure loves his ice cream. Yes, he does. What's interesting, for those of you who watched my tour diary, Chris Hager also looks a little bit like the biker from the Village People. Him and Scott Coogan both got COVID at the trip before that video. But Chris didn't either test or didn't know, but he was ill and he was not feeling well. And so Coogan backed out and Chris went. He got 103 fever and we had to, he had to go home. And that's why Johnny came in. But he was much sicker than you have any idea. It's very difficult to decide how much video I use when I make these tour diaries. Don't want to make anyone look bad. Don't want to put in any private information. So, okay, George is saying hi to me and Stevie. Stevie will be here in just a minute. Michelle Simon's first concert was Rat with Bon Jovi opening. That's right. And Big Stu was watching on his 70-inch big screen, just like I'm there. I wish I was. Maybe you're serving some stew for dinner or something. I'm starving. I want to go to Raising Cane's because they have the Christmas vacation promotion going on. You got to get into the season. Dragon City Demo Seasons, greetings to all that group. DQ's looking for a Rat reunion. I could tell you, I don't know, there's a lot going on in the world of Rat, or some members and some not. Alan Childs, great interview, very informative. See, Jason is a Patreon and did see the interview. And so I'm glad that you liked it. It's a good one. There's a lot of cool stuff. You'll be surprised at how much stuff we get into. Michelle Simon enjoys my leg lamp, which is, as you know, a major award. It's Italian, Fragile, obviously. Someone would like to see an interview with Vinnie Vincent. I'm sure that that's very likely to happen. Here we go. Another super chat from American Jet Set. Catch Jet Set opening for Stephen Pearcy at the Whiskey 1230. Well, hey, that's cool. And happy to promote that. Yes, December 30th. And there might be some surprises in store for that show, too. If you're in the area, I recommend you come out, celebrate 40 years of Rat music, and catch American Jet Set. You'll have to let me know when you go on, and I'll make sure to come out and watch you guys. And thank you for the super chat. And check them out on their social media. Dr. Paul's saying hello to them. He wants to know what time they go on. He wants to show up 45 minutes after that time. See, Dr. Paul is so mean. They could go on at 4 o'clock for all you know, Dr. Paul. Okay, let's see here. Everybody's a comedian. Let's see here. Piercy rules. I agree. Doc is on fire. He is on fire, and there's probably something he could take for that. Cemetery's Gates. And let's see here. In 2 days is Todd's birthday from TUFF. Well, Stevie will have to discuss that with us. I should point out Stevie's got some really cool prizes that he's going to give away. We're going to do something a little different on this show. Okay, Mr. Malu, no relation to Mugu, is saying hello from Thailand. Did you know that Stevie Rachelle is going to be in Thailand? He's going to perform, I believe he's performing not just in those places that are only open after hours, but you can see him perform other places too. All right, I'm sorry. Everyone is so excited. I know he's chomping at the bit to get on. He hears Thailand and he gets excited. Robert, thank you. Moose Green, happy holidays. Happy holidays to everybody. And okay, let's see who else is here. Danny Paycheck, no relation to Johnny. Paycheck is here. Made it. Thank you so much. Need to see Steven in San Antonio. Well, I'll tell you what, Steven wants to step up the schedule. He wants to be in more places. So let's see. Who won Golden Robot? Not announced yet. We'll do that soon. Had to take some time off. And I, be honest with you, it's mostly my fault. The other guys picked who they liked. My other judges, Tommy Schio and Johnny Monaco, Mark Knight. I'm really the one who, I hate listening to music. It's a terrible thing to say when you're in the music business, but I hate listening to music. But there was some good stuff, and we'll get to that. William Rogers has come in just to tell us that he's going to hit the sack, but he's going to watch the replay tomorrow, and he loves the show. Thank you so much. Sean Lane, shout out from OKC. I don't know what that is. Oklahoma? Canada? Stevie probably knows. He's much more intelligent than me. Let's see here. Okay, I better skip through some of this. Here's Kimberly. Long time no see, Kimberly. Nice to see you. Been a while. And have I ever got a chance to check out the helicopters? Yes, I like the helicopters. Good stuff. Hey, Jason. Alan Childs' interview is my favorite. Any chance you can get Carlos Alomar? That would be great. A lot of these guys people don't know. Carmine Rojas, Carlos Alomar, great session guys. But yeah, I'm glad you liked Alan Childs, and everyone should check it out. Sometimes it's not about how famous the guest is; it's about their ability to tell stories and all that kind of thing. And it's a good one. I recommend it. Okay, let's see what we got here. A lot of people talking amongst themselves. Stephen Michaels with the super chat. Thank you so much. Let's see. All right. I think if Stevie's ready, he's not giving me the high sign yet. He looks like he must be busy doing something. Okay, he's ready. So let's see. Just want to make sure I got everyone. And yes, all right. So let's welcome back the one and only Stevie Rachelle. Stevie, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you, Jason.
Last time you were here, we made a lot of headlines, and we also made a lot of people have a better day at work and a better commute home, and brought some entertainment.
Okay. Well, if you say so, I would like to point out a couple things before we get started. I have been eavesdropping from the northwest wing of RLS Records.
Mm-hmm.
It is not Todd Chase's birthday, and I don't know how that. You know how it is when you're a super celebrity in a mega group like Todd Chase is in TUFF. I actually shared a photo of Todd today from the 80s where he's looking very Ricky Rocket, very Ruby Slippers, very glam, very, one of those photos.
Right.
And I wrote Todd in the 80s. And then I shared a photo of Todd recently where he's a little biker-ish with his mohawk. And I wrote Todd in his 50s, then and now. Thanks to Mr. Chase, always holding it down on the bass, blah, blah, blah. Just a random post for me with a photo of him when he was like, 6'1", 130 pounds with 30 bracelets on. Todd in the 80s and Todd in his 50s.
Right.
I never said it was his birthday. Not that photo.
Like this one.
That's very that era as well.
That was you working out right before the show.
Exactly. But either way, yeah, I shared a couple of, now and then photos of Todd just to say thank you to my buddy, who I've been doing this with off and on for 35 plus years. And so then a whole bunch of people started saying, happy birthday, Todd. So it's not Todd's birthday, but it was actually in September. So I guess we can wish him a happy birthday late.
I think that Todd Kearns is having a birthday, and maybe these people are confused. I mean, I don't know. I think that's what might be the confusion. Let's answer Frank's question because he was nice enough to contribute. And he asked, does Steve remember playing a banquet hall in the early 90s in now Windsor, New York, and any memories of that show?
What was it called? Banquet Hall?
It was a banquet hall. He didn't say the name of the venue. That's the tough one. It's hard. Stevie's got a great memory, but it's hard to remember a city like Windsor. He's probably been in a million cities like that. Frank, if you give some more.
The fact that he doesn't name the club, I off the top of my head, I have no recollection of Windsor, New York. But if he came on and said, "Oh yeah, it was at Frog's Place or something like that with a really unique name," I might go, "Oh yeah, I remember they had frogs on the wall or something." There was a club called Frogs, I think was it Massachusetts or New York? Somebody that's on here from the Northeast.
I know there was a Toad's Place, I think, right?
Toads, not frogs, Toads. Okay. So yeah, exactly. It's something like that will, ring the memory. But no, I don't remember Windsor, New York, and I don't remember a banquet hall unless it has a specific name. Yeah. So what is his name? Frank?
Frank.
If Frank wants to come back on.
Frank, you got to follow up. Stevie is one of the people who has a better memory than than most. And if you read his tour diaries, I recommend them on Metal Sludge. You can see the detail that he gives, and it's amazing because I think it's a little different than you're on tour consistently. Now you fly all over the place. It gets harder to remember where you're going. The casinos all start to look the same. The festivals start to seem the same. But so as he said, unless there was some more detail, it's hard to remember.
And if you give me 1 second, I'm going to reach on a bookshelf here and grab.
Well, Frank is back, and so
okay. So when I do these tour diaries, just so you know, Jason, and I've talked about this in other interviews or online, people go, "Oh, I can't believe you remembered all that." Which a lot of things I do remember. However, when I put these together, I spend some time. Like for instance, these are TUFF tour books from 1991, 95, 93, another 91, another 91. This one is 93. Inside these old-fashioned tour books, Jason, you remember them. It'll have not only all the dates and like this is going to be at the Cell Block, which is just outside of Philadelphia. We stayed at a Red Roof Inn at 3100 Lincoln Highway in Trevose, Pennsylvania. And then next to it, there's all kinds of little notes.
Mostly about women that you knew in that city, I bet.
Well, no, stuff that you deal with, like load in, sound check, dinner, hotel number, set time, load out, closest liquor store, whatever. So a lot of times I'll refer to these tour books, or I also keep calendars, literally meaning, in my house, I have a calendar in my kitchen. I also have a calendar on my wall here in my office, and I make little notes. Everything from dentist appointment to flying to LAX to pick up the kids from karate, whatever. When the year is over, I literally take that calendar and I put it in a file cabinet. So I have literally 30 some years of calendars. I can literally pull out a calendar from July of 1989 and go, we played Fat Jacks on Friday, July 6th. We got paid $500. The bonus was $200. And I met some girl named Heather, and here's her phone number, 412. So I use those to kind of detail and fill in the blanks. Sometimes when I'm trying to remember a specific tour or year, I'll pull out those, 93 tour book or 1993 summer calendars or fall, and then look through them and go, oh yeah, that's when we played with,
Lita Ford,
or played with, Dangerous Toys or something like that,
I remember Lita Ford, New York City. It was down in the meatpacking district. I think it was called the Marquee.
I was going to say, and that was a mainly gay area of New York. Yeah. Am I right?
That's the meat they're packing, I think. Yeah.
How do I know? Why did I remember that? So you were at that show.
Yeah.
You were at that show.
Right. Yeah. And I think somewhere I have a picture of you and I. I was much younger. You were too. And I got to dig it up because I think people would get a kick out of it. But yeah,
oh, wow.
But there's a detail you remember. Also, New York City is a major city. Usually when you go to a city like that, especially when you're on a label, you remember those kind of things. So Frank thinks the name of the place was called Anthony's Pier 9. That's still probably pretty vague.
Oh, wow.
It might be in the book. If you can come up with
it. I'm currently looking at Wednesday, November 20th. You want to know what happened on Wednesday, November 20th?
I do, yeah.
We played the Marquee at 547 West 21st Street in New York, New York. The phone number to the club is 212-249-8870. We stayed at the Days Inn at 440 West 57th Street.
57th. Everybody stayed there. Wingers stayed there. That was kind of a good spot. It was on the same block as
TUFF went on at 9 p.m. The promoter's name was Ron Delasener.
Ron Delsner, who was a legendary New York promoter. Ron Delsner was one of the big.
Contact was Melissa Miller.
I don't know her.
And we stayed that night. There was no travel.
That's a great night, a night in New York.
And the next day we drove to Boston. We played the Channel in Boston the very next night. So yeah, that was the club, the Marquee. And I remember somebody that was with us, maybe our tour manager, said that area, there was a lot of gay clubs or something around there.
A lot of gay
Which,
clubs.
of course, everybody said, no wonder we're booked here.
Yeah, a lot of prostitution. It was very close to the river. It was cold too, obviously November in New York. But yeah, you're all the way down there. And but like, see that you can jog a memory, but sometimes a banquet hall is not enough. Frank, if you can find some more information.
What did he say the name of it was one more time? Frank or Pierre's 9 or something?
Anthony's Pier 9, not to be confused with Anthony's Pier 8.
Yeah, honestly, that rings no bells. But occasionally somebody will come up to me and go like, "Hey, I remember that time you played with Danger Danger or something like that," and I'll go, "We never played with Danger Danger ever.
Mm-hmm.
I never even met them until like in the mid 90s. No. I'm sure you were with Danger Danger." I'm like, dude, I'm telling you right now, we never played with Danger Danger. I would remember meeting Ted or Steve West or Bruno. So then the guy will go, "Oh yeah, I think that was South Gang who played with Danger Danger." I'm like, well, listen, I'm not Jesse Hart. We're not South Gang. So get your facts straight before you try to fucking quiz me. So
Yeah.
I don't know, Frank. Got to dig some more information up. I do not remember Anthony Pier 8 in Windsor, New York.
Scott Allen says, when the fuck are you going to continue the TUFF Diaries? Not an easy thing to do.
Well, there's a couple more that are basically in the chamber. There's a few more things I wanted to dig up to add. These next couple are really long. There's lots of detail, lots of funny stuff. And I'm not good at always keeping everything something like that. I mean, I started doing it. I was looking at it. I was like, man, I've been doing these for 3 years and I still didn't knock out there's 25 in total. I think I've done 20. 21 is done. The other ones are like partially put together, a skeleton, so to speak. But there will be some more. I'll get on it when I can.
I think what people don't realize now is they think, well, you're playing TUFF and that's your living, or you run Metal Sludge and that's your living. That is not how it works. They think, I tour with Stephen Pierce. You've got to have a lot of things firing to not have to go get a real job. And I think at the end of the day, that's what we all strive to do, not to have to go work for somebody. So you got to have the site running, you got to have the touring running. And as Stevie's mentioned, he's a family man. He's got kids. So it's hard to find time to sit down and talk about the girl who blew you by the dumpster next to the pier.
In Windsor, New York, back in 1991.
Now, if you knew that he did something like that, you might have jogged his memory. Okay, let's get to some of these questions, and I'll answer a couple, but let's concentrate on Stevie because he's our guest.
Right.
Saying next time Piercy is in Ohio, bring him to the Christmas Story house. I went when we were on the road with Bobby Blotzer's Fake Rat. I went to that Christmas Story house. Blotzer did not want to go. He doesn't like Christmas or houses or anything. He probably hates houses even more, probably because his wife took it, or ex-wife. But anyway, so yes, but we're going to be in Ohio. I don't know if the date's out yet, but we're going to be in that. You probably played this place. It's the BMI race track or something like that. I don't know how. Versailles, who the hell knows? Anyway,
Versailles, spelled Versailles, I think, right? But we didn't play there. But I've heard that's a venue that people play at often or something. 80s like concerts or something.
I see a lot of the bands. Actually, that one is on sale right now. But yeah, I do see a lot of the bands play there, and it seems like it's a fun place. But I guess when they're not doing concerts, it's like a go-kart track.
And are you wearing a Metal Sludge shirt today?
No, today we're wearing Cousin Eddie Shitter's Full.
Okay, yeah. And I was gonna plug. I am wearing one of the Metal Sludge beanies. Mm-hmm. This is not the Poison Enough is enough neon green. I don't know if you can tell that that's neon green.
You
The
see it
light's
at a
kind of,
distance a little bit, yeah.
it's super neon green. We have that. Different colors, a black with white, but the lady also made me a couple that are just like this is actually kind of a glittery, it's like silver, it's a silver embroidery. And my shirt for the super diehards that have tuned in, I am wearing a Iggy Pop Will Eat Itself tour t-shirt.
Wow, look at that.
Now, Jason, do you remember the name Iggy Pop Will Eat Itself from the Metal Sludge Gossip Board or not?
I do remember it, and I've seen it, but I don't exactly remember the whole bit.
Well, the deal is this. His real name was Will. He was from Buffalo, and I'm saying was because he passed away. He died in 2010, and somebody online made shirts. It says RIP 1972 to 2010, Will Hall. And his online moniker was Iggy Pop Will Eat Itself. And he was the most famous poster on the Metal Sludge boards for years. Really sweet guy too. I met him on one of the tours I did with Veins of Jenna in Buffalo. He came to the show. Little wormy guy, dark hair, liked goth, liked all kinds of crazy different types of music. But he was very popular online. And at some point he passed away, which was lame. He was very young, obviously. I don't think he was not even 40. But this shirt that somebody made, I just found it. They sent me one some years ago, obviously a long time ago. It's 2010 when he passed away. And then on the back, it's got, I don't know, I think it's got a bunch of clubs or something maybe that he used to hang out at. I forgot what's on the back, but that's what I'm wearing today. I'm also rocking the Sludge beanie, and
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
talking
order.
old school Sludge today. So I figured I'd get a little sludgy since we're going to go way back on the Sludge.
I'm gonna have to order the beanie. I think that's a good one. Hold on,
I
and
know somebody. I could probably send you one at a discount if you put in the
yeah,
code.
maybe you can get me a good rate. We're gonna talk about the most infamous post in Metal Sludge history. I know a lot of people are wondering what that is. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna shed some light on it. It's gonna be a fun, interesting conversation. So we're gonna get to that. That's a little tease. Plus, it's the holiday season. Stevie has been nice enough, care of Metal Sludge and RLS Records, to give away some cool things. I think you may even be able to get your own copy of What Comes Around Goes Around on vinyl, and he will sign this to the winner. So you want to stay tuned. Don't disappear. And it comes with the gate fold, and he can sign it for you right there. So you want to stick around for that. Let's look at some of these other questions. Frank is back. Let's see if he has any more information. Frank, I appreciate the super chats. He went to the show maybe mid '90s. Doesn't remember who opened those. So Frank still has no information.
So he's got it basically narrowed down to New York State, somewhere between 93 and 95.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. When we're trying to work with you, but
I mean, in a name like Andy's Pier 11 or what? Andy's Pier 9? Is it Andy's Pier?
Anthony.
Yeah, something like that. That's like a very unique name. Like I remember we played a club in Kentucky outside of Cincinnati. I want to say Louisville or Covington, Kentucky. It was called Phone 3, as in telephone 3. And I was like, what does the name mean? Like usually you're at some place, it's like Molly's. It's like, oh, the owner's name is Molly. Or it's like the channel in Boston was right by the channel, like by the water. But Anthony's Pier 9, like, I don't know, like that's a very interesting and unique name, but I don't remember it all at all. So I'm wondering if.
Let me see if I can shed some light on this because, hold on, just got to remove this 1 second. It looks like it really was a banquet hall. It just recently sold. So I mean, maybe you would remember this just because it does not look like a typical rock place. It's coming up now. So this is Anthony's Pier 9.
Wow.
It is in New Windsor. I'm just reading it first. And off of Route 9 West. And it hosted continuous weddings, corporate shindigs, political gatherings. For 41 years. Also, it was a movie production studio. No mention of the TUFF, but so this is what the room looked like. Um,
Huh.
seems like COVID gave them some problem, and yeah, they had to sell. It opened in the 80s, and this must have been some odd thing. I mean, and Frank, you have to tell us. Was this like a nice outdoor lounge? It looks like it's on the water. You'd have to tell us, Frank. Were there other bands on the bill? I don't think you remembered, but this must have been somebody must have had an idea to put on the show. This had to be an odd one-off thing.
And a lot of times those are. You get a promoter that, you know, wants to become a promoter. And he's like, yeah, you know, my friend's sister's dad owns this banquet hall, and, you know, I can put a deposit in with, you know, Ashley Street Talent and get TUFF for $1,500. We send them $750. And yeah, there's been times I pulled into town and we were just like, what is this? Like Fred's Woodshed. You know, just random places in the middle of nowhere that would put on concerts, you know? So
I don't think people watching completely know about that, Stevie. You know, a lot of times people think the venue pays for it. They book you and they pay for it, and that's it. But in most cases, there's a promoter, and a lot of times it's a fan, and sometimes it's a first-time promoter. You can usually spot those people in the parking lot because they don't have a shirt on because they lost it putting on these shows and taking on things that maybe they couldn't handle. You know, when you see the contract and it says how many tickets you have to sell to break even, you just look and you go, you're in trouble.
Well, and I just saw, it's funny, what you just said is exactly what happens often. And especially with us lower level and, you know, mid-level, smaller 80s, any band, you know, Flock of Seagulls, whoever. Somebody online the other day in the M3 Rockers group on Facebook, some guy started ranting about, you know, I hope they announce the lineup and I hope it's a good one. You know, the last few years hasn't been great, and I could totally put on a killer event. Like, I know exactly what to do, and these kind of headliners, and it's so simple, and I get these bands to support, and not this and not that. And of course, a whole bunch of the armchair fans are chiming in. Yeah, Joe, you know what you're talking about, bro. You're that's exactly, I'd pay for that. I'd pay for this. And then somebody came on, I forget who it was. They seemed to have a little bit more of a grasp, and they just ripped the guy a new asshole. And I was like, dude, the fact that you said it's so simple at any point in your post, you're a moron. You have no idea what you're talking about. You know, putting on an event as big as M3, and M3 has been very successful, or these cruises, or even what Justin Murrow was starting to do with Rock and Skull. The first couple were doing okay. By the third or fourth one, he was rolling along, but he started getting, you know, a little biting off more than he could chew, you know, and in the end, it was almost like a Ponzi scheme. You know, it just completely imploded on him, and he lost his ass, you know. Lost a lot of other people's asses too, you know, that paid for these big diamond package tickets, and then most of the bands that were advertised never even showed up because there was no.
What about Fat Freddy? Fast Freddy, excuse me. Remember the Freddy, the promoter, Fast Freddy promote, whatever the hell it was called.
The guy that did the Farm Rock events, you know.
Farm Rock, another prime example. Got himself in deep and then started spending other people's money, and that's a dangerous.
It's very complicated, even to play, you know, and we've all heard this a million times. We'll be at a club, like for instance this weekend, and I know I heard it this weekend at least a couple times. Last weekend we played in Cleveland on Friday, Cincinnati on Saturday. We roll into town, get some hotels, roll into the club. It's 8:30. There's a bunch of people there. I'm selling some merch, and somebody comes up and says, "When are you coming back?" I'm like, dude, we haven't even played our set yet. We haven't even left yet. What do you mean, when am I coming back? Do you really think, like, put down your drink for a second and just think rationally. We haven't even fucking played the show yet. Do you really think we've already got another plan to come back here? Where's your fucking brain? You know, it's just like, it's like you with your family walking into Disneyland. Hey, I know you haven't walked in yet, but when are you going to get the family and buy all the flights and come back again? It's like, We have no fucking idea. We got a
Yeah.
stroller and 2 kids screaming to fucking get a Musketeer bar. What do you mean, when are we coming back?
Yeah. And you can look at how often they've been there to know that you're seeing a special event. People don't realize it, and it's hard. Gas prices are up, plane prices are up, travel is difficult, and it's not an easy thing. Let's get some of these people's questions because Stevie, I've seen Tough with Vane in San Francisco in the late '80s. I was front row on the left. Do you remember me? Mhm.
there's there's no way they're serious, but honestly, I don't think we ever played San Francisco with Vane, but we played Oakland with Vane. We played at the Omni with Vane, and we played at the Country Club with Vane down here in LA. We also played the Whiskey with Vane, or the Roxy, I should say, the Roxy. But we probably hung out with Vane because we definitely played the Stone in San Francisco, and I'm sure Davey or some of the guys at some point came and hung out at those shows.
You were so big in the gay markets. I'm surprised San Francisco never happened. Maybe who knows? Maybe after this, somebody will book you. Keith Ryan Cartwright said never played Pier 9. Maybe he should be saying, I don't know. He's never played there, or he doesn't think it ever
Well,
happened.
Keith is actually my cousin,
Mhm.
and he was my tour manager for most of those dates. So he
Oh,
would
so he knows.
also be very, very aware. Like, he's listening right now, and he's like, that's why he's saying we never played a place called Pier 9. Um, Keith's probably got a better memory than me. And yeah, say what's up, Keith?
Well, thank you, Keith, for the super chat and for clarifying. Maybe it was called something else, or maybe he got his venues in that town mixed up. I want to get into some news. People are tuning in to hear the news, but
Okay.
I love some of these comments. Let me put on my glasses so I look intelligent while I read it. Hey, Stevie, do you remember playing in Wisconsin? As soon as they say, do you remember, I'm like just ready for something ridiculous. Do you remember playing in Wisconsin between 1989 and 2011? I remember it was snowing and the Packers lost to the Vikings the next day. The place had really good hot dogs too.
Okay. Yeah. Now people are just saying stupid
I
shit.
found it funny. Stevie did not, but all right. Uh, let's see. Some of these I'm going to skip, but all right. Let's see here. Um, I'm skipping through a lot. It's a lot of people. There's 175 people in here. Uh,
Okay.
uh, Saw Tough on the Monsters of Rock cruise, Monsterwood. Stevie was hilarious. Great show. That we can remember. That wasn't that long ago.
That was on the West Coast.
Yeah. I was on one of those cruises as well with Stevie when I was working with Winger, and Kip Winger told me, I want to meet that Stevie Rachelle. And I pointed him out, and he said, I want to meet it. And his question was, why does he hate me, or something along those lines, or why does he say such bad things about me? And I'm thinking, you know, why do you think you're innocent in this world?
Well, one, Kip had already previously met me, and two, he's getting me mixed up with Beavis and Butthead. So I know I look similar to those guys, but yeah, going back to 1998 when I put out my first solo record, Who the Hell Am I, which was very acoustic, folky, Americana. I ended up playing with Kip actually at the Country Club, and we played. He did this acoustic thing with him and his 12 string, and I did. I didn't play acoustically, but I played with a band. And it was more stripped down, and I did play acoustic on, I don't know, probably 5 of the songs, 6. Actually, somebody asked me recently. They said the rumor is that you can't play guitar. That's why you don't play it live. You know, and I said, well, that's kind of funny because there's probably dozens and dozens and dozens of videos of me on YouTube playing along to Kissing You Goodbye live and So Many Seasons live and Wake Me Up live and Better Off Dead live. So, and then I used to do these stupid little, not stupid, funny, goofy little pieces in between those songs when I had my guitar, and I'd be singing everything from the Gilligan's Island theme to Puff the Magic Dragon and the Brady Bunch. A little bit of my quirky personality would come out. People usually like those. So Kip and me go way back. Even though we didn't spend a lot of time together, we did play that show together. He did come in the dressing room and say hello, but we hadn't talked since then. So when he said, I want to meet that sludge guy. Clearly we covered some winger stuff over the years, but we never went too hard on Kip.
No, I don't think he thought that either. I think I think he did get it. I think
Right,
he is on a thick skin at that
right,
point. Um, but I think he thought it was fun. He's not the type of person who hangs out. I remember on the cruise, that was as social as I've seen him. So I think he figured I'll say hello to people
right.
while I do. There's a lot of questions about Jani Lane. Um,
Okay.
and a lot of these are questions that I've avoided. Someone asked about this one question on my tour diary. There was a kid who was drunk and he was talking to Johnny Monaco. And I said, "You look a little like Jani Lane." And then I asked him some questions. And then I decided that I couldn't print them. There's two questions here. The one is Drummer Boy Jones. Steve, what is the Jani Lane rape story? It's a tough one to address.
Well, I know some information that I've been asked not to share, and I won't.
Yeah.
But I can just say that there's been a bunch of guesses, with people on social media as to who they think the person was.
Mhm.
And if I've seen 100 people guess, about 75 of them said the same name. Let's
Yeah.
just say they're pretty hot. They're in the ballpark, you
The
know?
name that they say, and I don't say it either. I Sometimes you could think, well, of course you're guessing that. That seems, but then you think, is it actually true?
Right,
But I've heard it in more detail, and I've also talked to some of the guys in the band Warrant about this. And
right.
who knows? Those guys weren't in the band yet, but they've heard the same information that's around. I think it's a bit sad. We can say though that the story comes about because Bobby Brown did say it in her book, and she
Right,
said that Janie told her. That's public information. She doesn't want to reveal the name, and maybe it's better that way.
right.
It's kind of a sad story, like much of Janie's life. It's very tragic. Someone else asks if he was murdered. I don't think that's something that we would know.
No, that's
But
that's ridiculous. And going back to the thing about Janie's thing that he said, and there's that audio clip too where Janie himself said it on a radio show of sorts, and he was a little drunk, but here's the thing. He talked about being sued, he talked about being divorced, he talked about the band breaking up. He talked about being arrested. He talked about going to jail. He talked about getting DUIs. He talked about all those things, which we know are all true. Then he also said, I've also been raped. Why would he talk about all this other stuff that's proven to be true and then throw something like that? Then that obviously there's no quote unquote hard proof of it. But to those people that are listening to this as well, it's not like Janie was on tour during Cherry Pie as a double platinum rock star and he got raped. The story is, from what I understand, is that when he first came to LA, I don't know, 84, 85, maybe he's what, 19 years old, 20 years old. He's at some studio. There's some famous rockers there or some producer, and they said, hey, you guys want to come and hang out and party? And hey, sure. New guy from, he's technically from Ohio, but I think him and whoever moved out from Florida. Go have some beers, party in hotel, backstage, hotel or studio area, and maybe he gets drunk. Maybe someone's there and there is a situation and he felt a little intimidated, got taken advantage of. Maybe he was a little drunk. And with respect, we know that Janie at some point later in life too, when he did drink, he did things that he lost all control. Obviously doesn't remember some of it. So I think that, there's the possibility that something did happen. But, sadly, that could have happened. And obviously his life has passed us by now by a decade. And he
yeah,
was, I think he would probably love to have another chance at it, as a lot of people would, including his daughters, Bobby, Roanne, his family, and everyone else close to him.
yeah, absolutely. I really liked him, and you know, always a stand-up guy, but
Right.
a troubled guy. And unfortunately, this is a tough business for if you got trouble, this like those substance and things. It's a tough life.
Right. Right.
Stevie's such a great guest. I love when he's on. Thank you so much, Taylor. Much appreciated. So
Thank you.
let's talk a little bit of news, because that's what Metal Sludge is. It breaks news stories, and sometimes there's stuff that's on Metal Sludge you're not going to see in a Spin magazine or on Rolling Stone.
Right.
I know that Rolling Stone is chomping at the bit to get the autograph lawsuit story, but right now you have to go to Metal Sludge or watch my show. So that story is fascinating to me. And what I love is that in this day and age, the people will not, in the opposing parties will not only argue with each other, they will also argue in Stevie's comments, and which is amazing to me. So the story is, and Stevie was one of the first to break it. I think he was the first. Well, first of all, when Randy Rand passed away, Steve Lynch issued a statement saying, I think at this point they should either call themselves a tribute band or they should call it a day. And I think he was right. There was no original members left. Time to leave that legacy alone. At that point, they wanted to continue. They made a record, and they were trying to. I'm trying to make sure I don't say anything that I'm not supposed to say in this.
Right.
But anyway, Steve Lynch put a statement out that he was going to take legal action. Stevie broke the story on Metal Sludge, and I said, "Holy shit! I have this interview with Jimmy Bell that I thought, it was interesting, but I
was going to say, and that happened literally just at the same time, right? Oh, like within a 10, 15-day period of all this happening, right?
Yeah. And when I interviewed Jimmy Bell, who's the current guitar player in Autograph, I didn't know any of this was happening, but I did ask him, hey, Steve Lynch said you guys should call it a tribute band or move on. And he seemed a little uncomfortable. And he told me that he was uncomfortable talking about Autograph's business because Simon or Daniels or Daniel Simon, he's running the business. Right. And by the way, when you get sued, people put your real name out. That's a big thing that people love to do. Like now all of a sudden, whatever, Daniel Samani or whatever his name is, they love to stick your name in these things. So I knew that something was going on. I said, well, I got to get this interview out. So I broke from my Friday rule. I put out the Jimmy Bell interview on a Wednesday. A lot of people liked Jimmy Bell. A lot of people liked his playing and liked him and thought he did the best job that he could. I always say when these kind of lawsuits happen, it's not the band's fault. They're trying to those guys are trying to make a living. Right. But, and Simon's trying to hold on to something that he feels that he worked on. But sometimes these guys are a little crazy with the idea that, well, I rebuilt the brand and people want to see me. And so, Stevie, in your comments, you post your story, you wrote about it. All of a sudden, they all comment. So Simon's in the comments, and Steve Lynch is in the comments, and then Randy Rand's widow is in the comments. This is all on Stevie's Facebook. You got to make sure you like Stevie on Facebook so you can keep up with this stuff. And she also believes that the band should call it a day in respect of her late husband and their fans. So when you wake up and you see a story like this, you must just go, boy, it's going to be a good day.
Well, and I made a comment on my post, and I think I did it on Steve's as well, where I just said, I'm Team Steve Lynch here. I've known Danny Simon since the day I got on the Sunset Strip. He was in the original formation of Jailhouse, and that is preceding the guys in Rough Cut being in the band. There used to be two other guys in Jailhouse. It was Danny and Michael Raphael, the guitarist, and then another bass player and a drummer. But either way, so I've known Danny the whole way. Never had any issues with Danny. I like Danny. He's a good guy. But when I saw that they were the aggressor in the lawsuit, when I say aggressor, they were the plaintiff. They sued Steve Lynch. Steve Lynch is the defendant. So that means Danny and I guess the drummer, Mark, they sued Steve Lynch. My analogy is that's like Robbie Crane and Jizzy Pearl suing Warren DeMartini for Rat.
Mm-hmm. It was a good analogy.
Jizzy Pearl was the singer in Rat for like 7 years.
That's right.
Robbie Crane was the bass player in Rat for like 15 years, longer than Juan was in the band. So Danny's argument is, oh, I've been in the band for 10 years, which technically it's not 10 years. I think they started the idea at the end of 2013. It wasn't really till 2014 that it got off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly there was a 2-year break because of, COVID or whatever. And I do understand that they did some kind of a deal with, I believe, Frontiers to put out an autograph record, which Randy was involved with. They probably co-wrote the songs. I'm sure Danny was involved in that process. But to sue Steve over that, I can't get it. I mean, I know Jeff Pilson, love Jeff. He's a great guy. As long as he's been in Foreigner, as much as he's that glue guy that's helped that band stick together and relaunch with him and Kelly singing, I can't for the life of me imagine that Jeff Pilson would turn around and go to the guys in Foreigner and go, well, we have a problem now, so I'm suing you. Mm-hmm. Me and Kelly, this is us. So the fact that Danny and Mark are suing Steve Lynch, the lone survivor, along with Steve Plunkett, who's obviously checked out and is not involved in this project for 40 years or 30 years since 1989. I can't side with that. I can't. It's like somebody online said, call it something else. Call it Autograph Revised. Call it, Autograph Experience, and then some of the funny comments were, call it Forgery, which I thought was great.
That's a good one.
Or Signature. But to just say, we're Autograph and, hey, Steve, we're not jiving with your opinion, so fuck you, have a lawsuit. I just can't back that. Danny, if you're watching this right now, I can't back that, dude. I can't.
Well, you don't pull punches, and you choose the side of what is right, not over the people. Like you said, a lot of these people, and we've done shows with Autograph and nice guys. A lot of people say, well, no one knows who the original guys are. The way I see it, though, is the legacy. There are younger people who go to the shows to show them something that really has nothing to do with Autograph. I have seen them. It sounds nothing like Autograph. It's not even close.
Right.
To then represent that as seeing LA Guns, I said LA Guns because that was on my mind. The same kind of concept. What you're seeing now is bands trying to do things that doesn't really represent the. Faster Pussycat is the prime example. They've gotten a little better at it, at trying to be a tribute to the past. But I tell people that's nothing to do with the band that I saw in high school. Nothing at all, And so people try to reinvent and stay interesting. I don't think Autograph is so in demand that we need to have a fake Autograph out there.
Well, and another thing, when people say, well, Foreigner's doing this, or Quiet Riot's doing that, or Warrant's out with a different singer, or Skid Row's got their different singer, everything is different. Everybody's situation is obviously different. The Quiet Riot thing, Alex Grossi's been in that band for almost 20 years. And he was in the band when they kind of revitalized it. And both Kevin and Frankie were there for, the duration until they both passed away. And obviously Frankie's widow, Regina Benally, is the manager of the band, or basically controlling the history of it now, or what's left of that brand. It's her and I believe, Frankie's daughter that have the interest in the band. And of course, we also know that was, when Frankie was still alive, that he went to Kevin's mother, that was widely publicized and talked about. Before Frankie decided to come back and do it, he went to Kevin's mother and said, I want to do this. What do you think? And she said, go do it. It's Kevin's songs. Go out there and play them for play them.
Maybe it's Slade songs too, but all right.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I mean, you know what I mean. It was Kevin was the face of Quiet Riot without a doubt. And and then at some point, as Frankie got sick, I think it's been talked about that Rudy was, they talked with Rudy, and they kind of said, hey, you know, you need to come back and carry this flag for us, you know, and
It
obviously he did
helps.
that.
It
So, and
helps.
and something else that's interesting, which some people will know this, but some listening might not. When Metal Sludge used to do our 20 questions back in the day, we would ask singers to rate other singers. We would ask guitarists to rate other guitarists.
That's right.
And we would rate, you know, ask drummers and bass players. Kevin DuBro's interview, when we did rate a singer, you know who he gave the highest remarks to?
It was something weird, like Bret Michaels or something. No, or
No,
you? Was it you?
It's Jizzy Pearl.
Okay, that's great. That's a
Google it.
yeah.
He
That's
says
great.
all good things about Jizzy Pearl. And I don't think Frankie knew that. And I brought it to his attention and he goes, wow. Wow. So yeah, in our 20 questions with Kevin DuBro 20 years ago, he gave his highest marks in regards to Jizzy Pearl, who ended up all these years later stepping and being the guy.
Yeah, and
So
and it's enjoyable. I see it all the time, and the difference between that and Autograph, quite right, a much bigger band, and Kevin DuBro has passed. You know, with Autograph, Steve Plunkett and Steve Lynch, the main guys, are alive.
right,
Happens to be three guys
right,
who passed in that band.
right,
On this same note, the thing that everyone wants to talk about is Pantera. I'm
right,
not really a Pantera fan. I risk saying that and getting beat up, but I'm not. It's not really my band. I remember I saw Pantera open for Skid Row. I said I'm going to stay in the hallway while these Pantera guys play. And but it was a weird thing. There were Skid Row fans who would come in to see Skid Row, and the Pantera fans would leave. And then
right.
there was like a changing of the guard. I knew Vinnie Paul very well. He lived here in Las Vegas. He came to see my band play 3 days before he passed. He'd come out to see me a million times. If I had a charity, he donated. He was
Right.
one of the few really likable, nice people. What a character! I mean, he looked like Yosemite Sam, and he was
Right.
such a character. But if he was in a venue and you wanted his autograph or his picture, he did every single one. I've never seen somebody
Right.
so patient. And remember, his brother was killed. You know, it's got to be nerve wracking for him to go out. It was,
Right. Right.
but he was such a good person. And his brother Dime, obviously you've known them as well, was
Right.
also a really good guy. It's
Right.
hard to find guys like that. So Pantera is out right now on the road. In my opinion, people ask this question on the show a lot. Should they call it Pantera? Why not? If the singer is there and Rex is there, the bass player too, and they can cash in on it being Pantera, I feel like why not? Do I think the Abbott brothers would approve? No, not a chance in hell. Vinnie Paul was so against it. I floated the idea to him, like many. Why don't you get Zakk Wylde
Right.
and do this? And I kind of leaked it out, I think, at some point. People were picking up on it that there was discussion. And maybe there was a slight bit.
Well, let me interject on 2 points.
Mhm.
One, Axl Rose said, "Not in this lifetime will I ever play with Slash again."
Very good. He called him a
And
cancer.
they have now went around the world and grossed $500 million or more. 2, when you say cash in, here's the thing. To the people that are saying this is just a money grab for Phil and Rex, you're wrong. Because for starters, Rita was as close to being Dimebag. I mean, it was just basically common law wife.
Right.
He'd been dating her forever. And, you know, she probably wiped his ass half the time when he was drunk, you know? So if she says yes, she's
Mhm.
saying yes for Dime. And obviously, I think it's one of Vinny's dear friends that he grew up with / part-time tour manager / drum roadie who's in charge of his estate because their father is still alive, I think, Jerry, but he's pretty old. He's probably close to 90 or something, you know? But either way, my point of this, as big as this Pantera thing is going to be for the next several years and go around the planet, do you know how many people are going to benefit from that? Meaning not just the band, not just the manager or the agent, drum roadies, guitar roadies, tour managers, light men, merchandisers, bus drivers, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people will end up being able to sustain their livelihood because of Pantera. And with everything those two guys started, meaning Vinny and Daryl in their garage with their friend Rex Rocker, and obviously they had what's his name first, and then they brought in Phil from Razor White. What those guys started in a garage in 1980 in suburbs of Dallas, Texas, playing Judas Priest covers and Crocus, that is now going to go around the planet 40 plus years later and bring in tens of millions of dollars, possibly hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's going to help people feed their kids, pay their mortgages, pay their rent, pay their dental, pay their insurance, put food on the table. And At the end of the day, for all these people that are complaining, rock is dying, there's not as many rock shows, too much rap, too much Jay-Z, too much, be happy. This ain't 80s rock, but these guys are 80s rock. These guys started out with spandex on and leather and loved all that stuff. And even after they went heavy, as well as anybody that when Poison was in town, Vinny was on the side of the stage. Vinny was talking Ricky. Vinny, and when Dime was around, those guys would get up and sing Down Boys with Warrant when they played in Texas. So this is a good thing for a lot of people, not just Phil and Rex taking a bunch of money. This is spreading. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to benefit from this, a lot.
We're going to have
We're going to
have a breaking news story here in just a second. But so there's people angry who are saying it should be called a tribute. Look, it's the original singer of Pantera. It's the bass player of Pantera. They're playing the music of Pantera. People, if people don't know that those two guys have passed away, you're probably listening to the wrong band if you don't already know that.
Right.
You're hearing the guy who sang the songs sing the songs. If you watch my interview with Mark Ferrari, thank you, Stevie, for setting it up. If you watch that interview, he talks about how he wrote and played with Pantera on the Power Metal record. Interesting story. Okay, so here's some fast breaking news right here. This is Johnny Monaco, and he's joined a lovely woman. Johnny, where are you, and what is going on?
This is Jennifer Stallman.
Yes, I've actually been cutting his hair.
I'm getting a haircut.
Jennifer, hi, Johnny.
Hi.
Hi.
Jennifer, Johnny is an accomplished hair cutter, barber himself. Did you know that?
I know that. Yes, he's very good.
But he trusts you, and that's a big thing.
Yes, he has trusted his hair and my hands for many years.
Yeah, we're doing it for a while now.
Yeah.
We met on the Tantric tour.
Yeah.
I thought that was a different chick. That was Troy, no?
Another girl. That was a different girl. I drove out here because we're over by the Aces and Ales because I've been driving around all day doing underhanded. Is that above the what they call it? Underhanded? Well, anyways, I work for an organized operation, and I drive around collecting money and tickets all day, and then I had to rush over here to get my hair cut because Jen was nice enough to get me in before I have to go back out with you guys next week.
Yeah, well, okay. So, we don't want to interrupt the haircut, but I'm glad you joined us because people did want to, chat with you.
Eden, get in here. We got Eden. Do you guys know Eden Stallman?
Johnny, this isn't you're not having a key party over there, are you?
Say hi, Eden, everybody.
You guys know Stevie Rachelle?
Jason and Stevie Rachelle from Metal Sludge. They're doing a live stream right now.
From the band TUFF. He's the guy who posed for this famous photo. I think it was in Rolling Stone.
We were all together at the wedding last week or 2 weeks ago. Remember the wedding?
Yeah, I do. No one knew you were there though because of your disguise.
Well, I can't help that.
Hey, I'm going to let you guys talk for 2 minutes. My cat is meowing. I got to feed my cat.
Time to feed the cat. Okay, Stevie will be right back.
So hair cutter extraordinaire, hair cutter to the stars. Jen, who else do you cut hair for? You have a couple.
It's industry. I am not allowed to say.
Oh, she can't say.
I can't say.
It's not Michelangelo Badio.
That you can say. Yeah.
But so she does cut a lot of people we know. She cuts their hair, and her husband plays in all kinds of bands all over town. And in one of those bands is our friend that would not give me the time of day in line at the wedding and has a terrible attitude with most people at airports. And we all both know who that is. And so they play together and sometimes in bands. And I just,
Jennifer, are you worried that because you cut a lot of these rock and roll guys' hair, there's not many people who still have their hair? There was a band that came in the other night called LA Guns, and I don't think there's any hair to cut.
That is true. It's
Johnny,
all delusion.
Does Johnny have
delusion.
healthy hair?
He wants to know if I have healthy hair.
He has healthy hair. He does. He knows how to take care of his hair. Yes, most definitely.
Now, in those guys' defense, they do have hair, but just not always. Sometimes more on their back and buttocks and knuckles. If you're a drummer with bad timing, your knuckles drag. So sometimes the hair gets caught on the cracks of the side.
When you're cutting Johnny's hair, does he tell you how much he hates this town and he's got to get out of here?
No, he loves it. He loves it. He absolutely loves it.
You give her an act then. He turns on nice for you, because otherwise, every night Johnny questions the existence of this town and what he's going to do. And I think Stevie.
No, you really?
That's not. There's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing I can do about that.
Johnny, we're going to talk a little bit about the. You guys, is the haircut still going?
No, we're done. I
We're
gotta
just
go.
gonna
I'm gonna go home now. I have to go home in traffic. It'll be great.
All right. Well, Johnny, you check in as you when you get on the road. Check in again. Me and Stevie are going to talk about the most infamous post in Metal Sludge history, and we're also going to give away some cool stuff to some. It's the holidays, so Stevie's nice enough to give away a few things. Okay. So check in again, Johnny. We'll be.
And I just wanted to give Jen a plug because she's always so nice and helps me and cuts my hair.
Oh,
so if anyone in Las Vegas is looking for what, a haircut, you sell cars. What do you do? Haircuts, haircut. See me and I'll direct you into the direction.
So that means I can get a haircut too, John?
She's a barber, not a magician. So.
Well said.
Ouch!
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We'll cut it. We'll
right.
trim those furry
Stevie
eyebrows.
Stevie and I were talking earlier off the air, and we said that a lot of these guys who lost their hair, they grow a lot of facial hair, or they must have bushes for ages. You know what I mean? I won't say names, but
like
some
down
of these
there.
Guys,
yeah.
You know, I don't know about Stevie, but
all right.
All right. Well,
Bye.
All right.
See you soon. Okay. Bye.
All right, Johnny. Check in when you're on the road.
Okay.
Check
bye.
in traffic when you're in a good mood.
Well, I don't know what that's going to be.
All right. Thank you, guys. Okay.
So
was
Jason, should we roll one of the first contests? Because I got something here I want to throw at you, and I just want to know if we got enough people here, if they're ready. Because what I want to do is first I want to give away a signed copy of our What Comes Around Goes Around debut, the reissue remaster deluxe CD. And what we're going to do, in order for you guys to win this, if anybody paid attention to my Facebook last week, I did some guessing games on Facebook, like how many nuts are in my bag.
He likes to count
drink
nuts.
I had. So what we're going to do for this first one, and Jason, I guess you're going to have to keep an eye on the comments, because I'm going to text you what the answer is. And as soon as somebody types the answer, that person wins.
Okay.
And I'm ready to go. And what we're going to do is this. Does anybody know what that is?
Hold on. Let's go to solo view. There we go. I don't even know what that is. It looks like a hotel room key.
This is a hotel room key, exactly. From Strongsville, Ohio on Friday night. What room number was I in?
All right. Now,
I'm
let me
gonna tell you
explain.
right now, it was on the second floor.
All right. Now, let me explain how this is going to work to everybody.
Okay.
The first person to give the correct answer of what room number Stevie's in is going to win this CD. And so there, I see guesses coming in already. Now, I'm going to have to read them off because I can't read my text because my phone is acting as a camera.
Okay.
But that's okay. So it's going to be the first person to answer correctly on my screen. So the way
Correct.
you see it might be different than the way I see it.
Correct.
If you win, you contact Stevie with your name and address. Instagram, good, Stevie?
Or Facebook, and they'll tell me who they are, and you'll tell me what their name is here.
And we'll match it. Okay, I stay in hotels all the time. Every weekend of my life, I'm in hotels. I think some of these guesses are too high. I'll be honest with you. Some of them seem okay, but some of them seem too high, and then some people are just being funny. Let's go through some of these guesses. Okay, the first person who was in was D-Star. I'm just going to run through them. Stevie, if you hear one that's right, you say yes. 231.
Nope.
209.
Nope.
213.
Ding, 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 ding.
Wow. How did that happen? The third person got it. Raw footage is the winner. Third guess or fourth guess, whatever. That was quite. Let me make sure though. Let me wait. Hold on. Now I see other people. Hold on. Might have been somebody else. Hold on. First one was 231 at 6. That's not it. 614, 6. It looks like Charles said 213 at 614. And it looks like Charles is the first one in the chat. I'm looking at them. There's so many of these that came in at once. But these
But
other
it's
ones.
the first person who pops up that has it right. Because
yeah. Of course, D-Star, who I thought won, comes in at 615. The first one to answer was Charles, and he said 213. So Charles Inman, you are the winner. Impressive that you got that. I don't know if I would have guessed 13. You know, the elevators don't go to 13 usually, but
it's 213 though.
Right, 213. Yeah, I get 227 a lot, like the Marla Gibbs TV show. But okay, Charles, make sure you write to Stevie. There's 205 people in this room. Look at all these people guessing. How amazing.
Okay, so now we have 5 contests we're going to do. The vinyl record is going to be the last one. That's going to be the 5th contest. So this was the first giveaway. So what's this guy's name? Charles
Inman.
What if I get 9 people that message me and go, I'm Charles?
Charles will prove it. Charles, you'll prove it. You'll use a code. We'll find a way.
Yeah. So,
Charles, what city do you live in, Charles? That might help. Tell us what city. Well, now they'll all say that too. Yeah, they're all.
That's right. Everybody else will see it though, and then they'll go, I'm Charles from Louisville. Send me my shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, Charles, we'll figure it out with you. Okay. Let's see.
Now the contests are going to get better, right, Jason? We've already talked about this. We've got a couple that are amazing.
Yeah. Now I'm going to tell you guys in a little bit. We're going to talk about the most infamous topic in metal sludge history, and I'll tell you, I had an idea for a contest, but Stevie wasn't comfortable with it. So it's ridiculous if Stevie wasn't comfortable. but I will talk a little bit about that. But that's in a little bit. That we still want to make sure you stick around. You will definitely enjoy the subject. And
the contest. I'm not going to tell anybody what the deal is, but here's the deal. When you have a vinyl record like this, you remember we used to buy these sleeves that we would put on the cover, right? To keep the artwork in good shape. To win this album, there's going to be something inside this sleeve, and you're going to have to guess it for this final contest for the vinyl record, which is a $50 item with shipping. So that's a big deal. As we know, vinyl are expensive.
We got to point out this is only open to people in the continental United States.
Yeah, you can't live in like fucking Mongolia and it's going to cost like $60 to send you a CD.
Yeah, so you have to live in the United States, and then so he's going to fill that with something you will be able to guess. There's 4 more chances to win, so you will get that. Johnny Monaco will be checking in a little bit. We talked a little bit of serious stuff about what's going on in the metal sludge community. I think a lot of people go and get their news from metal sludge. In my last tour diary, someone was threatening to tell us some gossip, and he said, "Well, I don't want that to end up on Sleaze Rocks." To which me and Johnny said, "We only read metal sludge. We don't Sleaze Rocks is small potatoes."
Excellent.
And then he told us stuff that I had to edit out because it was alleged and ridiculous and untrue. But yeah, people want the metal sludge beanie. It is a popular item. I want to show real quick. Yeah, there it is right there. Maybe someone could win one of those. This
We
is the
have
time.
currently we're going to give away one with the lime green embroidered logo. I'm modeling the silver shiny logo. Yeah, if you click on the beanies over there, well, no. If you go to over here where it says accessories, I like the fact that you're pretty slick there with. Yeah, you want to go to accessories. Okay, now to the far right, you got the beanies there. If you click that, you're going to see how bright that is. So we're going to send you you could call this poison green or enough's enough green. And I have a contest already.
You could call it
already
Jason
ready for
Green.
that.
You can call it Jason Green if you like.
Yeah,
but-
Jason Green.
So anyway, this is I want to show this. This is RLS Records though, so that people
Correct.
can also, if you don't win tonight, there's plenty of cool stuff on here, and Stevie has all kinds of fun merchandise. I'm showing you some of it, but you can. This is just the accessories section, and he's got all kinds of stuff here. So you can go over to RLS Records for all of your shopping needs and all the projects that Stevie's been involved in and other stuff too. You see Quiet Riot.
The penis pumps are sold out right now, though, Jason. Just so you know.
Out of stock. So
Out of
good
stock.
to know. Good to know. But they could be back at any time. You have to keep checking RLS Records to find out. Okay, hold on. Let's see. There's a lot of people here. We have over 200 people watching. A lot of people
Nice.
excited for the vinyl, and everyone has a fair chance at that. Let's see here. Just making sure we get to everybody. So people are interested in guitar picks and all kinds of, and it's all on that website. But hopefully, it's the holiday season. Stevie was nice enough to come on here and do this. We had so much fun last time that we had to do it again, and we add a little. You know, Stevie, everybody's got one of these shows now. And a lot of times you get these bozos sit around and they eat pizza and drink beer and talk about shitty Kiss records and, you know, that kind of thing. And we bring quality entertainment and news. This is late breaking news. And we share some fun. I think we have some fun. And then we don't have to talk about bullshit. Let's see here. And there's people back in the day. Yeah, someone said I took a picture with Steve Riley wearing my Metal Sludge shirt. That was a big thing back in the day. If you could get a picture wearing a Metal Sludge shirt, I'll be seeing Sebastian Bach next weekend. I will not be wearing my Metal Sludge shirt, but I probably could win a prize if I did.
Yeah, we used to call that. We used to call it "Go Capture Rock Stars." So what happens is people would buy the shirts, go to the concerts, and for a while there was a lot of, I guess there was a lot of guys that were really friendly. Ricky Rocket was one of the first ones to really support the page. And when people would come to the show with a Metal Sludge shirt on, he would literally send his roadie out to give the person a pass, whether it was a guy or a girl. And, you know, so some of the guys really embraced sludgeaholics or people wearing the shirts. Then, of course, there were some that were not happy, you know, like when CC Banana, for all those that remember, his name was AJ. He was from the New Jersey area, and he used to dress up in a banana costume and talk like CC DeVille. Hey, this is CC Banana here, you know, and he'd go to the shows and act goofy. And he had a banana suit and he had a Metal Sludge logo sewed on the front of it. And he showed up at an in-store that Sebastian was at, and Sebastian went completely nuclear and had him thrown out. So
he went crazy on a guy in a banana costume.
Yeah. So, anybody wearing a Metal Sludge shirt, I guess it really depends on who the rock star is. If they got a Super Balls award and did a interview and they liked the page, then they were usually really cool to the fans. But occasionally there would be some guys that weren't so happy, that the person was wearing a Metal Sludge shirt. Or, I mean, I've heard stories of guys doing that with, somebody in another band t-shirt. They didn't want him around them. It's just like, wow. So some random kid from Iowa, like, you don't like him because he's wearing a Metal Sludge shirt? It's just like, come on, dude, get over it.
Yeah, a lot of people at that time were upset with Metal Sludge, especially when the site was anonymous, because you can they didn't know, people really wanted to know who they could call or who they can email and who they can get mad at. Someone like Bobby Blotzer wanted to get drunk in the middle of the night and call you all night. Eventually he would, but
Right.
it took a while for that to happen. So there's been a lot of posts in Metal Sludge history that
Yep.
have created a stir. And we
Correct.
talked about Stevie's been on a few times. And a lot of you, if you remember going back to Metal Sludge, going back to the late 90s even, you probably have seen some of this, some of these stories. But
Right.
there is one post. Now, on the gossip board, there's a post called Bobby Blotzer equals piece of shit. And that one is very popular. It is very popular. I don't know how many people have seen that one, but it is it's to this day, it's popular.
I'll tell you right now, I'm going to pull it up as you're talking. I'm going to see. I think that's had like an insane amount of views too.
I've tried to give Bobby Blotzer so many chances, benefit of the doubt. Who cares? He's slow. He's handicapped. Whatever. And I always figured one day Steven might want to have him jam. Who cares? I'll deal with it. And then I got cancer, and he posted about it and said it was karma or something. And that was it. I said, there's just no way I would ever deal with this fucking sack of shit. But it all began when he was such a scumbag that I created this Metal Sludge post about Bobby Blotzer and the person that he truly is. I wanted as many people to know about it. And so,
Right.
and so it was this ever-growing thing, and it was funny. I ran into Rowan Robertson at that wedding from Dio, and he told me, can you remind me what we were looking at, the post where Bobby's on the airplane? And somebody created this animated thing where, because Bobby would tell them on the plane, I'm the guy from Rat, make sure you enjoy. And then on the plane, they would go, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very famous person here today. And then he would say, and make sure you tell them, go Trump, we're rooting for you. And that's what he would do. Now, Stephen Pearcy goes on a plane. He would like to not be announced. He would rather just fly his flight, but not Blotzer. So someone created this amazing cartoon where they go, ladies and gentlemen, we have someone very famous on the plane. And they go through about 10 names before they don't get to. And every time you see the Blotzer cartoon start to get up, then it's like somebody else says, fuck. And I got to tell you, there are people on Metal Sludge who are quite creative and funny.
There are definitely some creative sludgeaholics and some very knowledgeable ones. And I'll tell you, the type of people that look at the board or communicate and contribute to the site, or should I say to the message board, it's across the board. No pun intended. I mean, there's lawyers, there's attorneys and moms and dads and guys from bands on Warped Tour and just all kinds of personalities. So going back to your Bobby Blotzer equals a piece of shit thread, that has,
he says it so eloquently,
over 100 pages of responses. And I believe each page has got 30 replies on it, or 50 message board threads, 3,205 replies, and it's got 931,260. It's got almost 1 million views.
Almost 1 million views. Crazy.
Yeah. So it's definitely it's got its fair share of attraction. And on that, is it that thread, or was there another one? It was all Bobby Blotzer gifts where they would like have a picture of a guy in boxing gloves hitting a girl in the face, and then her eye would get all black. And I'm not making fun of domestic abuse, but obviously there was, I guess, some scenarios that equated to that, and so people took it upon themselves to create these moving memes or GIFs, you know?
They would also make Bobby Blotzer, like Bobby Blotzer's Ramones, and it would be just Blotzer with 4 caskets because the guys are all deceased.
Right.
Or they would Photoshop him into other bands. Bobby Blotzer.
Bobby
you know,
Blotzer's Queensryche experience. Like he was in Motley Crue, he was in the Backstreet Boys. You know, Bobby Blotzer's Carrot Top experience. Like it was just everything that you can imagine, which obviously people took it upon themselves to follow his lead because he decided to call Rat his own band. And obviously that kind of backfired at some point.
He was a trendsetter. I don't want to talk out of school. You know me, I'm very reclusive and shy about topics, but I've heard a rumor, and I'll say it here first, that Bobby Blotzer is currently looking to put together a new band and that he is hiring musicians to be in his band, which may or may not have something to do with the word rat or an experience or something of that line. So he is making a comeback. I know the world has been waiting anxiously to see if he can even stand anymore. But anyway, so that's the Bobby Blotzer story. So yes, that's a popular one. But there are, and that's only because I'm personally involved that I bring that one up. But the thing that really changed Metal Sludge, and Stevie, do we want to give something away or at least tease what's coming up next?
Well, we can do another contest.
All right.
Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this next topic.
You know who loves contests? Johnny Monaco.
There he is.
Hey.
Driving this Monaco. All right, Johnny, we're about to talk about How's your connection, Johnny?
Go ahead.
All right.
Hear me
Well,
okay?
yeah, you sound fantastic.
Hold on. How about now? Is it better?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Incredible. All right. Stevie's going to tell us about the next contest. So just listen. Here we go.
So the next contest, the winner will receive a Metal Sludge beanie. And this one has got the lime green, poison green, enough's enough green, Jason Green logo.
All right. I like that.
And
Okay.
the person who can guess how many pieces of bubble gum are in this container will.
This is what it's come to?
The first person to guess, Jason, can we zoom in on me? Just so
hold on. Let's take a look at the bubble gum. Here it is.
Okay, so as you can see, this is full of double bubble.
Double bubble, Johnny.
This is double bubble.
You really are a wholesome fella, aren't you, Stevie? I don't care what anyone says. You're a
As you can
wholesome
see,
fella.
this container of double bubble is about as tall as your standard water bottle, but it's much richer.
What has my life become? I should have stayed in college. If it wasn't for that new math, I could have been somebody. Move over!
So yes, just
now people are guessing already. Stevie, do we count the people who've already guessed?
Yeah. I'm not going to give a roundabout. I'm just going to say you got to guess how many pieces of bubble gum. I came here to chew gum
all over
and spike my hair up like I did in the 80s, but I don't have any hair left to spike up like Johnny, who goes and gets his hair cut every week because it's still thick and growing. So I brought a whole bunch of bubble gum. And if anybody can guess the exact number of pieces of bubble gum in this container, I'm going to send you a Jason Green, neon green Metal Sludge beanie.
Johnny, maybe you and I can help the audience. Let's give our guesses. Now Johnny can't hear anything. Johnny pretends he has a disability so he can drive in the other lane. So
Johnny is driving down the street saying, "What has my life become? I'm on a podcast with people guessing how many pieces of gum are in a container."
Yes, in bubble gum. I'm terrible at this, though. I'll tell people I'm terrible at this.
So how many guesses do we have? Do we have just a laundry list?
It's pretty insane. Yeah. Johnny, how many pieces of gum help the people out? Be a lifeline. How many do you think were in there?
need one more
Look at
look.
that.
Are
Oh,
you
well, he
eating
wants
the
one
gum?
more look,
Don't eat
Stevie.
cake.
Stevie, show him the gum one more
I'm
time.
gonna go with.
His
There it is,
signal
John.
is
Take a look.
This is not how my life is gonna end. I want to go with. I'm gonna go with 60.
That sounds like a good guess. I might say it's a little less. I would take the under on that. But so, all right, you guys are all guessing. There's tons of guesses here. I'll read through them in a minute. I guess you guys can keep guessing. It's going to be the first person to answer. I can tell you already that, let's see who was first. Some people's guesses seem very ridiculous. A lot of people are guessing 69. I think they think Stevie was being funny. Possible. But we have a lot of people guessing. Holy shit. There's 207 people watching right now. The first guess was 27. Rocky
No.
Tulsa. So
Wrong.
you know that one's out. The next guess was 42,
Nope.
47,
Nope.
51.
Winner.
Wow, it's amazing how fast people get it.
51.
I was
51.
close.
I
Rooster,
counted them.
Rooster 69, who didn't guess 69, he guessed 51, is the
Wins
winner.
the metal sludge beanie. Unbelievable.
Now, how do we identify Rooster so that we know he's the actual Rooster?
I don't know. You got to sort that out on that end.
Maybe comment.
End up with 35 people that say their name is Brewster.
Rooster, maybe Rooster, comment in this video your name. That's all we need. If he comments his name, we'll figure it out. Your name and the city you came from. And then we'll know because we'll see his picture, Rooster.
I'm telling you, Johnny, if you thought the bubblegum contest was amazing, wait till you see what the contest is to win the vinyl record.
Oh man,
We've just begun, Johnny. These contests are going to be amazing.
this is so dangerous.
The contest? No, it's just they guess bubblegum. They'd be fine.
How did my life come to this?
Yeah, but the vinyl contest is a little bit more. It's a little bit more risque. Let's be honest,
We
Jason.
still have 3 giveaways. Johnny, do you? It's going to get risque as we're looking at a beautiful view of downtown Las Vegas right now, courtesy of
Johnny, just so you know, we might even have to get out the tape measure for part of this next segment.
Oh, you are perverse.
See, who knows? We didn't have a dress rehearsal, so we'll see what's going to happen. But everyone stay tuned. More chances to win. 209 people at the 1 hour and 38-minute mark. So the most controversial and popular and infamous post in Metal Sludge history to this day is still every day gets views, right, Stevie?
100%. It is the longest running, most viewed topic on the page, and I will do the honors to tell everybody that we're going to talk today about the world famous penis chart on Metal Sludge.
Oh Jesus!
You're just in time, Johnny. It's penis time.
Unbelievable. You know,
it's a good thing. It's a good thing you left the woman's house. She might not have appreciated this. Her husband as well.
There's Trump Tower.
Yeah, that's a fraud. Don't trust it.
It's made out of candy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got to make a move
All right,
here.
so Stevie, tell me how the world famous penis chart even came about.
Well, when we were putting the site together, meaning myself and my former partner from way back, Sean, we were just basically throwing ideas around about what we were going to add to the site. And at some point, I don't know why, but I came up with this crazy idea about, girls and groupies. And, I know that, and any guy in a band knows this. When a guy's going out with some girl, and then some other guy goes out with her, and there's a little bit of jealousy, or maybe the girl, is maybe she gets mad at her boyfriend at some point who's like, well, you got a little dick anyways, you know, or then there's the whole one rock star bangs a chick and then some guy starts dating her and then he finds out that she screwed around with somebody in another band. Like, for instance, if it was Tommy Lee, those guys were like, oh man, I gotta follow that. Like, I don't know if I can hang. Not a good idea. So there was always random groupie talk about, oh, I screwed this guy in that band and he was lame and bad, or he couldn't get it up because he was drunk, or you know, he was a fucking pig and he stuck his fingers in my ass, or you know. So at some point we just came up with the idea to basically start posting what some of the groupies were talking about, you know, and their little,
what is this show turned into?
You know,
Butterfinger.
and then we crafted the idea to call it the world famous penis chart and just list what groupies have told us about guys and bands.
So at this time, the internet was a little bit more like the Wild West. You know,
Correct.
Things like revenge porn could have existed then. It wouldn't now. So we've talked about it before, but you had Donna Anderson, which was the fictitious female correspondent.
Correct.
And men would write to her thinking she was a woman or a real character. It was a composite of Donna D'Errico and Pamela Anderson.
Correct.
And people, and then on the message board, people were sharing their affairs. I remember at this time, some of the guys in the bands were giving girls different names. This is kind of before Google was jumping, hoping that they wouldn't get busted for cheating.
Right.
So it was starting to get around. This guy looks like this, and this girl looks like this. There was a woman named Static Beth,
Correct.
and she collected pictures of men's penises, and she was kind of like plaster caster of JPEG.
Right.
And so she had a site that would be 100% illegal now. There's no way you could get away with it. And she had a composite of pictures of people from the internet, but also pictures of people that allowed her to photograph them.
Right. And so yeah, she took the penis chart and said, okay, I'm going to take this and turn it into my own outlet. And yeah, she then started sharing pictures of guys, some of whom were in obviously magazines like Peter Steele and Jesse from Jackal, and I think at some point Phil Verone had already become exposed that way. So she started, you know, sharing all those dick pics, and then, like you said, personal stuff that she got herself, or guys would then, you know, sexting her when, you know, early era cell phone or email, like, here's my dick, and then she would put it up and go, this is so and so from this band, and this is so. And some of the guys were, it was clear because if they had tattoos and they were holding their dick in their hand, and you'd be like, okay, it says, you know, You've Gone Wild on their arm or whatever, you know who it is. So not saying that was bought, that's just a
example
comparison, you know. But yeah, Static Beth took the penis chart to another level and then started sharing it with imagery, and it was pretty. Not soon after, I mean, there was a point I think that she started getting some heat. Ours was just, you know, people talking, you know, girls' opinion. I slept with this guy, and you know, get a hairy back or something, you know.
And I think at some point everyone was checking to see if they were on this damn thing. And and I'm going to give a quick gander at it. Here is the list, right? So I'm just scrolling, and I'm going to just give a number of how many people are on it. Some of these people are irrelevant now, but it's still, like I just passed Dish.
What is it? It's a couple hundred, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not even at the bottom yet. Hold on. 100 and number 67. Number 166 is Chips Enough. And Johnny, I don't know if you know if any of this is true. But so when we were going to do this, I've seen it. Well, then you'll be able to tell us if this is
very
true.
large.
Well, it might be accurate then. when I wanted to, the idea that I had for this game show was that Stevie would read us an entry, and then we would have 4 names, and we would choose who the story goes to. Now, some of them are very obvious. This guy likes to come in spoons. Well, we all know. But Stevie said, I don't want to sit here and read about these guys' cocks. I just don't want to be the one to have all these dicks coming out of my mouth on the internet. And so that's why we're not doing the game in the fashion where we guess. But I have no shame and don't mind or sharing a little bit. So let's see what Enough's got going on. Now this is number 166, Chips Enough of Enough's Enough. Chip is well hung, about 8.5 inches, and as we all know, the thickness is what counts most, and he's got that covered. He's also very polite. He doesn't just dive right in. He likes to hang out and talk, maybe smoke some pot, and get to know you best as he can in a few hours. He doesn't get in a hurry, and he loves to give oral sex. Great at the dirty talk, providing you like a voice that sounds like Krusty the Clown. Like most bass players, he has great rhythm and is all around a good fuck. Johnny, what do you think of that?
Wow.
I think it's gross.
That's the obvious.
I mean, I'm sure. He's a tall guy. A lot of times you don't find big, tall Croatians with little wieners. I mean, he's a big guy, so they're going to be proportionate. I'm sure all that stuff sounds very accurate. I mean, personality-wise and everything. I mean, you've heard him saying. So.
Jason, was that submitted by a man or a woman?
It's not. It doesn't say. I mean, this
okay.
is, Stevie. That's all anonymous. Now, I find there was so many other things they could say. That whoever that was had a good experience. They didn't mention anything. I mean, Johnny, do you think he's got real hair?
You mean down there?
No, on his head. You're a barber. Is that real?
I don't know what's happening there anymore. It's I don't
Have you
know.
ever seen him by the pool looking like Curly?
Oh, that was close. These people out here. I don't know what's happening. I want to say extensions.
Yeah.
Like a weave. Like a weave and weed.
Yeah. Some people are thinking Chip might have sent in his own review.
Yeah, well, and I can say this, the thing is, when that thing started, we're entering the 25th year for Metal Sludge. There's not been anything added to that in more than 15 years. That was all in the early era of sludge, late 90s, early 2000s. And at some point we had, as you stated, Jason, we had an email set up for Donna Anderson, and we had one set up for Janie Von Neal and Tammy Sex Slaughter, and we had different columns for different people, which they all filtered into the same home base.
I muted Johnny's mic for a second just because the noise of his cars is ridiculous.
Right.
So, but he visually,
and
Johnny.
So we would get, these random submissions, and there's been some of those that went away. I did have a couple of guys who will remain nameless that are now married or have children, and they came up to me in private and just said to me, like at an event, like, "Hey dude, what's up, blah blah blah," and then today my wife stumbled across this. Could you edit that a little bit for me? So
you have retracted.
Pardon?
So you have retracted. There's been.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, and somebody comes up to me and is friendly and says, "Hey, can you, my daughter's fucking reading the internet now," and but I think most guys are like, "Hey, especially I guess if it's the review is good and it's rock and roll," so they're like, whatever. I mean, it's nothing that I push. It's not like we smear it all over it's on the site. It's on the bottom of the page. There's a link. It's on the menu. But again, it's like you said, it's old content. It's been there and it still gets read a lot. And when that thing was at its prime, it got picked up. It was talked about in Spin, Rolling Stone. It was in Penthouse. There was such, and not just a Blur, but I want to say Playboy and Penthouse, and some of these did, like a couple page feature where they talked about the site. They talked about, the columns and the fact that we had come up with this crazy idea through the internet to list rock stars' penis sizes, based on information sent in by groupies was, I guess, a little groundbreaking at some point. So
For sure. Is there ever anything you said, I can't run that?
not that I remember, but there was people, we'd get, even to this day, I'll still get anonymous messages or incoming where somebody will say something really kind of crazy just because I think they're trying to get back at somebody.
Right.
Meaning it could be an ex-girlfriend and go, oh yeah, so and so from this band, by the way, yeah, he likes it when you put, a beer can in his asshole, or there's times when we get stuff that's a little hellacious to the level where I think it's just people are trying to see if they can push enough buttons to make us put it up and embarrass their
Johnny, is there anyone in the elevator with you?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I appreciate
I just didn't want to interrupt, but Stevie was talking about how some people like it in their asshole. So I didn't want to make it awkward in the elevator. All right.
I just met somebody who helped me get in the door. I got this food.
What is that? You got a whole stash.
Listen, he was very nice. He knew my name. That's weird.
He's probably watching the podcast. He's trying to guess the date so he can win a record.
I thought I was going to get mugged, but he was very nice.
Stevie, some of these people, do you know the sources? Are there regular groupies who drop names?
I mean, at this point, no. I mean, that content was contributed, over 15 years ago. So, and we would get stuff through emails, which most of it wouldn't be like, hey, my name is Julie Andrews and this is my fucking home phone number. A lot of it was sent through Hotmail accounts or, and just like with interviews, when we started doing them, for the most part, it was kind of on, as silly as it may seem, an honor system, but as bands got a little bigger and they had their official site, Dokken.net or whatever, we could literally go, okay, we're contacting the band through their website, Webmaster or Incoming or press inquiries. So, but there was also bands that we would be like, oh, some guy messaged us and he says his name is Andrew from Sleazebees, so we'd be like, okay, we'll interview the singer from Sleazebees and start going back and forth. And usually with a little bit of question and answer and a little digging, we could usually tell within a couple of emails, okay, this is really the guy, but every once in a while we'd be exchanging with somebody, and when I say once in a while, very few times where we snowed. We did run an interview at one point that we put up with Rachel Bolan, and then we found out after the fact that the camp said that's not Rachel. He didn't do the interview. So, but I mean, we did hundreds of interviews that obviously were authentic. But every once in a while, something would slip through the cracks, and it would be like, oh shit, I guess that wasn't what we thought. So, but after you do this for a while, there's a way to kind of decipher. You can kind of sort out the nonsense, the bullshit.
Sure.
Somebody that's maybe trying to push some buttons just for the sake of pushing buttons,
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a fun thing. It's still there. I will tell you that I've talked to plenty of bands and musicians who are on that list. Most, from what I've heard, is accurate. The other thing is when you tour manage musicians, women love to tell you about the members of the band you're working with. It's a very common thing. Your singer did this, and I, especially Sin City Sinners here in Vegas, I think they thought they were like the Motley Crue of cover bands or tribute bands or whatever, and some were married and whatever, but every one of them, every girl had a picture of every guy's wiener at some time or another. And I think I've seen some of these guys' wieners more than my own. It's because the guys are so stupid, and they're sending that thing out there, and there's always some young lady who, you know, when the next guy comes to Versailles or Versailles, Ohio, you know, she's going to have a story, and there are some people out there who have a lot of stories.
Well, you know, and I can't speak for everybody, but I think there's a fair amount of us in life, not just in bands, who at some point have probably taken some dick pics, maybe sent some dick pics to somebody we were dating or hanging out with. But, you know, as technology is advanced, the cell phones become way more sophisticated than it was 15 years ago. And I guess, you know, at some point you're like, okay, I'm in a private moment. And I guess this goes both ways. It's for women, for men, but you know, I can't imagine if the cell phone was available the way it is today, you know, in 1998, 99, or 2000, I mean, maybe would have gotten, instead of dozens and dozens or hundreds of, you know, incoming with emails and maybe some occasional information or photos, which we never added the photos.
Right.
But I mean, somebody nude and they're living in their bedroom, running around chasing a ball, barking like a dog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Johnny, you ever see that video?
No.
I can't imagine allowing. I mean, and clearly he was looking in the camera as this was happening. I'm kind of shocked that got out there.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, don't say the name. I see somebody says Prince Albert. I'll tell you, there is a musician who has a Prince Albert that I find surprising, because the person now is a very level-headed person, but I couldn't imagine getting one of those things. Let's see here.
Mr. Green, can I ask, am I excused to use the bathroom real quick?
Of course, yeah. Johnny will do his cooking segment until you get back, and I'll let everyone know, still around 200. When Stevie gets back, we'll give away another prize. All right,
because I'm on my second bottle of water, and with all this talk about penis, I can't help but remember that I have one and it's full and I've got to empty it.
Yeah, well, you do that and you come back when you're ready. All right. So
okay.
Stevie will be right back. In case you guys forget what Stevie looks like while he's gone, I'll put up a picture for reference. Okay. And Johnny, in case you forget what Stevie looks like, there he is. Johnny, what are we having? I was hoping we were going to go eat, but you got a whole meal. What are you having there?
Wow. I've been working other job now, 9 to 5. Old man Johnson's busting my hump, but they buy us lunch every day. The other day it was Smith and Walensky's, $600 lunch.
Jeez.
I don't pay for it, but today this is a meatball sandwich, half of it. I only ate half because I'm trying to lose 4 pounds, and my calorie intake, I want it to be lower than 1,000. Right. So I have half of a meatball sandwich and a salad. And then this is garlic bread from someone else's order that I just took because I thought, you know.
Like just a stranger in the restaurant?
No, but I have done that. Someone else in the office, because I work in an office now.
You're not really working. Don't let people think that. You're temping. You're helping out.
Well, the rodeo is in town, and it's a big deal here.
Yeah. It's also animal cruelty, for the record.
And everything is above board. I think that's what it is organized crime, but it's still on my end. Everything is above board. And
it's not very organized, at least.
No, I've seen more organization in a Marx Brothers movie. But I work with the organization because they trust me with their money, and I drive around Las Vegas. I think they would call that a bag man. Mm-hmm. And it's almost over. and it's gonna Friday night. I'm playing a show for them. It's like in Goodfellas,
Yeah.
and I play a show for them, and then they
You're
give
like
me.
a clown. You amuse them.
That's right, and they give me a bunch of money, and then they say, "We'll see you tomorrow for your last day," and I do one more day, and that ends my 10 days in a row every day, by the way, and then Sunday I have to play at the Mama Rabbit in the MGM, and then I'm really done. And then I got to remember how to learn to play the songs for a rat. And then we go to Chicago to play with Steve and Piercy at the Vixen, spelled with an A.
No, well, that was a misprint. Stevie's back. Hold on. We don't have to look at this. We have the real guy here. Hold on. All right, good. Stevie, I wanted to make sure people didn't forget what you looked like, so we put that recent photo up as a placeholder. Johnny was telling us about the. I think he's in the mob, but he was sharing about that. Stevie, let's give something away because it's these people have waited so patiently.
Right. Well, so what I'm going to do now is with all this talk of men's parts.
Yeah.
I see Johnny eating. I said to myself, I'm a little hungry, so I have this bag of turkey bites, and what they are, they're actually little tiny sausages.
Are we still doing the penis chart?
You can just pop them in your mouth. You know?
Oh, so we are doing the penis chart.
Stevie, who on the penis chart came up with the smallest ranking? Can you tell me that at least? I don't have time to read 150.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, you guys can go and review it. Go to Metal Sludge if you're watching at home, and you guys can comment in the chat. Why not? All right. And it's not always small. I think the people who are small is not the embarrassing. There's some people who the guy's a pig and he didn't shower and he's a jerk. There's a lot of that goes with it. I think that's worse than being small.
Right.
Someone would like to know if the TUFF glow-in-the-dark rubbers are available.
No.
No, sorry, Bill. All right, let's see here. It's funny that people are guessing the small wieners. I'm not going to say the names. I'm just going to put them on the screen. There's one. He's Portuguese. There's one. He was in Quiet Riot. Here's one. I think he was in the band that Stevie doesn't talk about. I think Kari Kane. I don't know that one.
Well, what we're going to do is this.
All
I was trying to think of a contest, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to take
All right, Johnny, get ready to guess. I think we're going to guess again. I think we're going to be guessing mini wieners.
How many marbles are in my butt?
I didn't count these yet, but this is what the gift is going to be for. We got two more. Do we have two more or three more?
I think we have three.
The next gift we're going to give away is this.
Oh, that's yeah.
Now, what this is a soda can koozie, right?
Mm.
A Metal Sludge soda can koozie.
Okay.
Also, we're going to give away, Jesus Christ, one of these.
All right.
Is that a bracelet?
Well, it could do other things.
We would like to think of it as being a little bit more manly than a bracelet.
Okay.
So, what will we call it? A wrist wrap or something like a
Mhm.
style, you know. So,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
okay. So, and what I have here, we're talking about the penis chart, where there's some guys on there that probably have some pretty good size going on. And we've all heard that porno phrase of, beer can thick, right?
Mm.
probably like Johnny is. He's just not.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Those
So-
modest guys like Johnny. It's the modest
This-
ones like Johnny, always.
This big, thick Monster Energy can, which you could put beer or a soda or whatever in the koozie, and you could use this. You could use this as a bracelet, or if you were really rocking, you could use it as a cock ring. Right?
Oh, geez.
Johnny, you can use that as a cock ring, if he says.
As Johnny's got a mouthful.
Mhm.
So what we're going to do is we're going to give away the TUFF wrist wrap cock ring and the metal sludge can koozie to the person who can guess how many do I want to count all those?
Are those turkey bites?
No, they're guitar picks.
Oh, guitar picks. Oh, okay. Oh, gee. Well, now it's about 15 left.
What I'm thinking is we need to involve Johnny Monaco somehow in the next guessing game. We've already guessed bubblegum. We've already guessed my hotel room. I have something set up for the vinyl, which is a big contest. The finale. So we need to come up with somebody with some kind of contest. Johnny? You're
Okay.
on the spot. Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, Johnny. But Johnny's good. He's a team player. He'll play.
I
along.
like this. He's looking in his fridge. How many cans of soda are in Johnny's fridge or something like that?
How many items? Not counting, like ketchup and stuff like that. But how many items on the shelves do I have in my refrigerator?
He's gonna count. That's not a bad one. I mean, Johnny showed his fridge on the show before. The cupboard is usually bare.
I know the answer.
Okay, Johnny. So how many shelves are there that we're counting? Nobody guessed yet, by the way. Don't start guessing until I say begin. I see people already throwing numbers out there. All right. Hold on. Well, I'll type in. So Johnny has 4 shelves. Nobody guessed yet. When I type in, it's the person who follows my typing in the text. So okay, he's got.
Johnny's eating so much food. Now I'm eating food. I'm like a slob here, but I am kind of hungry.
I'm starving. I need some more super chats. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to enter into the chat. You have to follow what I'm saying. I'm going to write Johnny Bridge Challenge. Now Johnny leaves. What happened? His Wi-Fi went out. All right. Here we go. All you got to do is follow what I say. He has 4 shelves. You're guessing the items on the shelves. And hold on. Okay, begin. You have to follow my comment. My comment is there right now in the chat. It was posted at 7:07 p.m. So it's got to follow me. I will tell you. Let me find my own comment, which is highlighted. It looks like that. The first person after that is 22. Sounds high. 9. 14, 13, 18, 6. Okay, well, we won't know until Johnny comes back. So we're going to find out how many items Johnny has on the shelf. I know that I would say it's under 10. Johnny usually has a bare cupboard. All right, Johnny, I know the excitement got you. I'm going to tell you what the people are guessing. You tell me when they got it right. So my post was right here at 7:07 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Taskmaster 65, 22, 9,
No.
14, 13, 18, 6, 12, 23, 16, 9, 13, 9 again, 14, 22, 7, 15, 11, 30, 6, 5, 15, 6, 11. This is like the fucking lottery. 3, 17, 12. Somebody called bingo already. 15, 8, 9, 2, 23, 14, 17, 28, 8, 20, 26, 14, 44, 21, 10. What? 21?
21.
Okay, a few people guessed it, but the first one was Doug Mason. Doug,
you would, courtesy of Metal Sludge, RLS Records, and Johnny Monaco Productions, in association with the Jason Green Waste Some Time with Jason Green podcast, you win the Metal Sludge can koozie and the TUFF wrist wrap.
Want to see them?
We want to see the items now, Johnny.
yeah, let's see, Johnny. What do you got going on there? Let's take a look.
Okay,
One.
1,
Yeah.
2,
2,
3, 4, 5.
You got to move the phone. We can't see the next.
Sorry,
Yeah.
5. This is 5,
That looks good, yeah.
6.
Yeah. You count the Arm & Hammer, right?
I really hope I did. 7, 8, 9,
Cottage cheese, of course.
10,
Oh, wow.
Pineapple is 10.
11.
Mhm. Oh, a 6-pack, but it's, yeah.
No, 11 right here.
Okay, I got you.
Like these are individual.
Okay.
12,
Okay.
13, 14, 15, 16,
Mhm.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
All right. So your count was correct. You did count the baking soda. Thank goodness.
Yeah, boy, I was worried about that for a second.
This has been the most amazing contest. However, the contest that I am going to run for the vinyl is going to be the fucking AC/DC Back in Black of contests.
The most stuff I've had in my refrigerator in a year.
It's because he's working and he's stealing shit.
I just, busted my hump over there.
Hey, just so everybody knows, you guys got to contact Jason Green properly with your information somehow, and then Jason's going to forward it to me.
Yeah. You got to comment on here. You can contact me on any of my social media. Maybe you got to produce an ID or something. We're going to find a way. We'll make sure that the appropriate person wins. All right. Hold on. Speaking of winning, I should check and see how my channel's doing. I was 5 subscribers away from 12,000 when we started today. So there's over 200 people watching. I'm sure somebody hasn't subscribed yet. Let's see if we made it. No, it still says 11.9. So
Okay. So can I do a commercial?
I'd love to see it. Yeah, commercial.
Since I basically am about to have my water and power turned off and my car repossessed, since I'm giving away so much shit, I would like to tell all those who have not won, if you would like to go to Metal Sludge and go visit the store, there is nearly 200 available items, t-shirts, CDs, for all you old school folks who still look at a DVD here and there. There's guitars, there's all kinds of amazing stuff. Please support me so I do not have my car repossessed or my water and power turned off. Because if the water and power gets turned off, then I won't have internet to be able to do another Jason Green podcast.
Mhm. Yeah, we're looking at some of the collectibles right now, RLS Records. So if people are looking, there's all kinds of stuff here. Here's some guitars.
There's a DJ Ashba signed guitar.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
that could be somebody's right now, and it's all there. There's something for all price ranges, and it's Christmas time. So not only can you help Stevie Rachelle put the goose on the table for Christmas, you can also get your friends and family some very nice collectibles.
And don't think about me suffering. Think about my children suffering. Think about them walking out of looking under the tree and realizing there's nothing under there but a red notice from the DWP.
That's where I bring my cat into things, because my cat usually ups the super chats, the kibble fund. Yeah, same thing here, Stevie. If I don't make any money, the cat dies. And
Wow. So
Nobody-
basically, if you can't feed her, you're going to have to plan her funeral.
yeah, it's sad. Bitsy, I hate to see that happen. So we'll get some fun. So anyway, support the channel, support Stevie's stuff we've given you. He's got all kinds of cool stuff. And it's not just TUFF. He's got everything. And then Johnny Monaco, of course. We got to make sure that you know that you can see Johnny Monaco at the annual Aces and Ales Christmas. Is it open to the public?
It's not for them.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a-
But
it's a
people go
private-
see him.
It's a private event for the NRF, National.
Yeah, good. The
Road-
National Rifle Association. I got
Something about a rodeo. I don't know.
it.
Oh, National Rodeo Finalists. Something like that.
Johnny,
Okay, so we got. I need to eat something besides these dirty little sausages. So-
Dirty little sausages. Wait, are
well,
we doing
whatever
the
I'm
penis
eating,
chart
I
again?
need to make some food, but I got another 10 or 15 minutes. So
All
what
right.
else do we have to cover before we do this finale contest with the most amazing guessing game that is going to blow your socks off?
This better
Well-
be good.
Johnny does not know what the contest is. Jason does.
yeah, this
Okay.
It
is
is a little risque. So if you are a little sensitive to penis related stuff, you might be.
What's he got there? A turkey baster?
I'm sensitive to penises.
Live to
Johnny,
jam.
they're gonna have to guess how long it is soft, and I'm gonna hang it down with the tape measure so you can see it live.
What the hell is happening right now?
No wonder Johnny took a job.
I'm gonna eat the sandwich on a fork and knife.
Robert Alonso would like to know what's the biggest band TUFF is open for. I think by big he means in record sales. Not units.
Well, we did open up for. Well, it depends on which. Are you talking original era of TUFF, or are you talking in the history of TUFF? Because after American Hairband came out, I did open up for Vince Neil one night. And the night we played with Vince Neil was at the House of Blues in Hollywood. Chris Jericho was in attendance. Dennis Rodman was in attendance. And what is that lawyer's name that was on the OJ thing? Was it Shapiro?
Johnny Cochran?
Johnny Cochran?
No, the other one, Shapiro.
Robert Shapiro.
He was there, I think. But I mean, across the board, Tuff's played a lot of shows with a lot of obscure bands. When it comes to the hair band era, we played the second to last ever show with the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. And it was TUFF. Well, it was Vinnie Vincent Invasion, TUFF as support, and Brunette was the opener, which later Johnny Gioli and his brother became Hardline with Neil Schon.
Sounds like the penis chart again. All right, so okay, we got the answer to that. By the way,
Any other questions about TUFF or Metal Sludge that we can?
I should mention
I can give some quick answers.
I can mention you could see Johnny on the road with Vince Neil this year, Stephen Piercy and Vince Neil. There's a lot of shows, not all have been announced, but you can come out and see that. I've heard some rumors about things that are going to happen at the show. It sounds very exciting. Okay, question for Stevie. Thank you so much for the contribution to the Kibble Fund. Stevie, do you still keep in touch with Michael Sizzle-Lee?
Yes, all the time. Michael owns a chain called Old New York Deli. And if you go online and search Old New York Deli, it might even be oldnewyorkdeli.com. His mothership store is in Camarillo. It's been there 25 years. He has a store in Mammoth Lakes at the base of Mammoth Mountain. He had a store in Newbury Park that he's franchised off to another, I don't know what you call it, franchiser. He opened another one in Woodland Hills on Topanga near the Topanga Village. And he's looking at opening a fifth store in Encino or Sherman Oaks.
Wow.
He's doing very well, and
Very
yeah,
well.
Michael's still a dear friend.
Working,
Yeah,
huh?
it would be nice if Johnny and I are going to be in California on December 30th. We should all grab some lunch. Old New York Deli, they have a Christmas menu, and
There you go.
and for Johnny, they have a Hanukkah menu. Brisket dinner plate, matzo ball soup, tender sliced beef brisket topped with beef gravy, potato latkes, applesauce, sour cream, green. This looks great. What an amazing menu. And
Yeah, his stores are pretty next level. Very there's all the locations.
yeah. Needless
So
to say,
thirsty.
he won't be playing at Toad's place with you.
No, Michael's got much bigger fish to fry, no pun intended, than playing Slim and Chubby's in Strongsville, Ohio with TUFF.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about the penis chart again?
Okay. Doug is worried that you might be having a little too much bread, Johnny.
It's a half a sandwich.
Yeah, well, Johnny weighs about 150 with his guitar on. So
150? I've never weighed 150.
Okay, how much?
130.
Okay, like I said,
That's my fattest. That's my fattest.
All right, let me make sure. Okay, so look, this is last chance. If you have questions, we can get to those. And otherwise, we're going to get to the giveaway. Everyone's got to get back to their lives. 200 people, 2 hours and 22 minutes. We've had a fun time. I hope you guys have enjoyed it.
Well, hang on a second. Let's just see how much of a success this has been. I'm going to look at my no orders since I've been on here.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we're not promoting it properly. Someone's got to go on there and buy something. Last show, Stevie cleaned up. That's why he's here again. So go over there and buy some holiday items.
Now, when we were talking, I noticed you were sipping out of a mug there, Jason, and I know it is the holiday season, and I know we've been doing a lot of talk about penis.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me you were not drinking eggnog.
I had eggnog.
No, I like eggnog, but I'm not. I'm drinking water.
I like eggnog too, but when you're talking about the penis chart, you just can't sip on a.
It's hard to swallow. Yeah, it's hard to swallow.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
What? Tris, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate everybody. And again, go support. And Johnny Monaco's got a website too. You can go buy.
I got to take my shirt off. Hang on a second.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Take your shirt off.
Now that's how you're going to make the money. You want to sell stuff. Now this.
Well,
Wow.
I'm wearing
time in the gym for nothing.
Holy cow.
Yeah, look at those guns.
I must work out.
Mm-hmm. Listen, we're having a good time. I wanted to read all of these penis chart entries, but Stevie had a hard time discussing other men's shortcomings.
A hard time? Are we still talking about the penis chart?
Donnie V's on here, Johnny.
excellent.
Donnie's paraphernalia is average or so size, and he's pretty good, providing he's sober. However, he'll rather have his dick cut off than wear a condom. But if you keep on him enough, he'll put one on. Reports have it that he has troubles getting an erection due to all his past and current drug use. Interesting. Let's see if there's anyone else. Johnny, you are not on the chart.
No, I'm not, because my dates don't live.
Yeah. Eric Stacy's about 5 inches and nothing to write home about. I like when they're short and sweet, not the cocks, but the entries. A lot of these people have been on the show. Jack Russell, simply put, mushroom cap. And that's it. Once bitten, and it never grew back.
I don't usually talk about other people's cocks, but I do know a girl that went out with Jack, and she said he had the smallest dick she's ever had in her life.
Leave him alone.
And she said it was barely there.
What's funny is that Mark Kendall would tell you he's the biggest dick. So
How many calories in a root beer?
I'm gonna skip somebody that we're on tour with. Ricky Parent, late Ricky Parent, he toured with Johnny. I think it's okay to talk about. He's no longer with us, and he got a good rating. Ricky is a very affectionate and a great kisser. Johnny, is that true?
90 calories.
His
I would think so. Yeah, he had those big, luscious lips.
His
The girls
penis,
love it.
his penis is about 8.5 to 9 inches long and is of average thickness.
Wow. No, that's pretty good.
So you guys can play along at home. Brent Muscat, who I knew very well, he's sexy, but his cock is somewhat disappointing. Naughty and nice, but a little pompous. Digs Asian chicks. I believe that one. I believe most of them.
Didn't he marry an Asian girl?
He did, and then I believe he had affairs with white girls. That's sometimes how it happens. But let's see. John Lowry, also known as John 5, he's a big fan of Stevie's, as you know. On our last show, he messaged Stevie. And he's a little bit of a freak from what everyone knows. He's average in size with no body hair, but he likes to come on your breasts and lick it off.
Ah,
So he has no hang-ups about tasting his own sperm.
come on.
Johnny,
Wow.
you don't have hang-ups, do you? He also likes to have his ass licked as well.
when in Rome.
Hold on. He likes to have his ass licked, but he also likes to return the favor. So that's he's very into oral sex, and is
Wow, and I thought I was going to eat something after I got off here, and I'm thinking about that
Wow.
second
He's
guess.
What
into
else does
the
this
whole-
freakazoid do?
he's into the whole pour wax on my dick thing. So,
Ouch.
yeah,
Well,
that doesn't sound fun.
I'm not that exciting. I prefer to be watching the TV, possibly Ancient Aliens or serial killer movies, and then go immediately to bed. But first, you must brush your teeth.
Johnny, do you know a guy named Kerry Kelly?
No.
Yeah, it says here ex-rat Warren and in a band called Dad's Porno Mag. Anyway, it says that word has it that before Kerry was so heavily into drugs, his little fighter used to be above average, but the drugs have taken its toll. He's clean now, so if he can get it up, he's said to be pretty good. So if you do meet him, Johnny, that's good to know.
I'll bring it up.
Yeah. And there's a lot. And look, this list goes on and on. I'm just reading you the short ones, if you know what I mean. And there's all levels of celebrities. You got Aerosmith guys on here. It's all okay. It's a Derek Frigo. Enough's enough. Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny stepped in for the great Derek Frigo. Derek is hung nicely and into foreplay and all that. He's back to wearing hair extensions and, of course, enjoys the Krell, his Krell. Isn't Krell like a shampoo or something?
Maybe like a hair product.
And I think Krell is another word for speed or Coke, isn't it?
I don't know.
Maybe. I thought Krell was like a lotion you put on when you get crabs. What do I know?
Poor guy.
Anyway, we better give something away because, but I think it would have been fun if we guessed. Now Stevie knows these, although you probably forgot half these things by now.
I haven't read through that in forever, but I do find, the old Sludge articles we used to publish, there's some stuff on there that, as you said, in 2022, I don't know, can't get away with as much of it, but
everyone still
like
knows
you said about say that again.
Everybody's still reading it. People who are 21 are reading it. I meet people constantly who know everything on that list.
I will never be able to look at John 5 the same.
With the fact that you just said people are having crabs and different, venereal diseases and stuff.
A lot of butt licking.
For anybody that wants to win this TUFF record, this gatefold.
A gatefold.
Look at that hot babe.
Oh, this one was signed to Dave. Who's Dave? How come I still have his record on my desk?
We better hope someone named Dave wins.
Now, as I said earlier, when you buy these kind of records, you usually put the plastic sleeve over it to protect it. So what I've done for this test, this next guessing game, the first person to correctly guess how many items are in this plastic vinyl 12-inch LP sleeve will win the vinyl.
12-inch.
All right.
Are we still talking about the penis chart?
Question is what label? It was on Atlantic back in the day. It's now available on RLS Records. You can, if you don't win, you can go buy it.
It was on Atlantic Records. So
I love that people are guessing numbers already. Why don't we wait?
they don't even know what's in the. They don't even know what's in the bag.
Yeah, you have no
Bag.
idea what you're guessing. So
We're
when
still
I
talking about the penis chart.
I mean, I gotta say, the first couple contests we did, they guessed it almost immediately, except for Johnny's took like a half an hour.
Mhm.
Mine didn't take that long.
So are you guys?
Well,
Is everybody ready?
It says here on the penis chart that Johnny, you take too long. Wait, maybe. Wait, sorry, that was Kevin DeBro. Never mind. I get you too confused.
You're too confused.
Silence falls over the room. All right, so people are getting excited, and
How many people do we have in the room?
205.
Okay, well, you got to set the timer ready because when I hold this up, they're going to start throwing numbers out.
Okay, guys,
I know the number.
he is going to show off the merchandise, and then you guys will. Once I type how many, you're going to see it. I'm going to put how many. You have to be after my comment.
Yeah, you can't do it before because there's going to be some. I'm going to do a little descriptive commentary to go with it, and I'm sure Johnny's going to probably chime in with something.
So, Stevie, when you say it, I'll hit the button. Okay, so here we go.
So, inside this plastic sleeve, there are how many condoms?
Oh, jeez.
Okay, now don't answer yet. Don't type in your answer.
And if you notice, we are talking. There's a combination. There's different condoms. We've got. There's some magnums in here. There's some regular Trojans. How many condoms are in this plastic
Magnum.
bag?
All right.
No, you got to hold it back so you can see the whole thing at one shot.
So are we talking about dicks?
Did you say one shot?
There.
All right, here we go. I'm going to hit it right now. Only guesses after this, and go. My comment is posting. There it is. It's 7:32. I wrote how many? Question mark. It's got to be after that. Stevie, you already know the number?
I know the number.
Okay, here comes. You know, a lot of guys, they buy those magnums and then they buy a box of rubber bands on the side. You know what I mean? Some people like to, or they take a regular condom, they put in a magnum, and then that's a move I heard that people have done. All right, hold on.
There's too many guesses. You'll never get through them.
Yeah, it's a million. Hold on. Where the hell did I say how many? Oh, my God. It was like a month ago. All right, first one is 17. Next one is 60, 69, 18, 36, 18, 25, 28, 15, 13, 38, 21, 17, 15, 29, 28, 17, 18, 22, 17, 56, 12, 16, 69, we're hearing a lot, 18, 15, 666, 20, 17, 22, 31, 17, 15, 26, 28, 24. Johnny was claiming prize. What?
What did you just say?
24?
That's it.
Oh, I was off by 2.
Johnny was playing at home. The home game will be available at Metal Sludge very soon.
I was off by two rubbers. I was going to send them to Donnie V. He won't put them on, though.
No, that's what we learned.
There
We
is
learned
24 condoms in this 12-inch LP record sleeve. So whoever guessed 24 gets a signed gatefold deluxe reissue remaster of What Comes Around Goes Around.
I'll tell you why.
That's Josh Crawford, and Josh has his picture, and he's got a real name, I believe, so he'll be easy to identify. Feel
Josh
free to
Crawford sounds like a fake name. We want a real name.
He has a porno mustache, Josh Crawford. So, but anyway, thank you to everybody for playing along, and listen, thank you to Johnny. No, excuse me, don't thank you. Can't take it. Thank you to Stevie, because Stevie's the one who's coming in with the presents at Christmas time. Make sure you support. Jesus, look at all these guesses. Make sure you support Metal Sludge. Make sure you support TUFF. Go to RLS Records, pick up some merchandise, and spread the word. It's the holidays.
You know, and even if you don't like Metal Sludge and you don't like TUFF, buy it and give it to somebody who you don't like.
Yeah, and I'm sure they like Dick. I mean, you know, they can go to the chart. Oh, I mean, maybe I said that wrong. But Stevie,
send a gift to somebody that you care about or you don't care. Somebody that likes.
People are going to be able to see you all over the world. First of all, where were you just at last? Cleveland?
I just played in, well, I was in Brazil a month ago, and then I just played in Ohio. We did TUFF in Cleveland, technically Strongsville, and then Cincinnati. And now it's going to be the holiday, and the guys in the band are coming out here in the middle part of January because we're flying to Australia. We're part of the Glam Fest tour, which is going to be Faster Pussycat, Wednesday 13. Of course, he's from the Murder Dolls. Eclipse, which is a band out of Sweden. Enough's Enough with your buddy Chip. Pretty Boy Floyd with my buddy Steve Sex Summers. TUFF. Sister's Doll, which is an Australian band that's put out a few records. Another band, I think they're called Cross On. They're from Australia. So there's 8 touring bands that will play in Brisbane, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Sydney. And then in each city, there's a couple local bands that'll open up too. So there's like 10 bands at each one of the shows. And we'll be there in Australia for that. Then we'll come home. And then in February, I am going to Thailand. Wow. And I will be playing at the Rock Pub in Bangkok, which is most likely going to be on Friday, February 17th. And then I will be playing at the Rock Factory in Pattaya, or Pattaya, I guess is how you say it. I'll be playing there on Saturday the 18th. So I'll be in Thailand for about 10 days, playing a couple shows there. And then in March, I will be doing the Rockin' Pod in Nashville, which I think you guys were talking that
we've been banned from that.
Interest. You guys have been asked about.
I'll tell you about this.
I think you guys would be rock stars there.
I'll tell you about the Rockin' Pod a little bit. First of all, there's probably nothing worse than a bunch of middle-aged men sitting around talking about the algorithm, but it's a podcaster's delight from what I heard. I was on the phone today. Excuse me if I sound like Eddie Trunk and name dropping, but I was on the phone today with Mark Weiss. Yeah. And right now, Mark Weiss and Stevie Rachelle are sort of the headliners of the event. And
Jason McMasters of Dangerous Toys will be there.
Right, Jason McMaster. And then I think Ron Keel's going to be there. I think he's the
Ron
king.
Keel, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. They've sent us an invite. Johnny and I, they sent us an invite. They didn't send plane tickets though, and Johnny is not going to drive that far. So who knows what's going to happen? But it's an interesting concept, and I think that they should. I hate to sound egotistical, but I feel like if this is a podcasting event, they should have some kind of award for me or something, or open bar, because this channel is at 1.5 million views and 12,000 subscribers. That's record time. So I feel like they should rock my pod a little bit, and who knows? But it's in Tennessee. Johnny and I love Tennessee. We had some great barbecue with Oz Fox, which will be on an upcoming tour diary. But listen, if we can't strike a deal of Aaron Judge type numbers, Stevie Rachelle will be there, and that's all that matters.
So I'll be at Rockin' Pod. I think that you guys would go over great. I look forward to it. It's going to be a fun weekend, and I guess there's going to be like a pre-party on the Friday with the local 80s tribute band. I think they're called Rare Hair, and I've been requested. I'm going to get up and do a few songs with them, as are, I guess, the other guys from the bands. But yeah, there's
I
going to
heard
be some other stuff.
LA Guns was about to go on a tour called Rare Hair. It's rare that they have any.
There's going to be some other stuff coming down the pipe as well for TUFF. But in the meantime, that's all on the back burner until things get confirmed. But yeah, we're real excited about Australia. That's going to be a great time. And then I'm excited about Thailand as well. That's going to be an awesome time. And I haven't been in Nashville in I don't even know how long. It's been a while. And even though I won't be playing, I will obviously get up and jam a few songs with the tribute band on the Friday night.
Well, they should. You know, if the Rockin' Pod really wants a big event, they should have the Johnny Monaco perform. Johnny Monaco can play his one-man show, and then we can really make it a party. Some people like to be funny and say they don't talk about Stevie Sex Summers on Metal Sludge enough. That's not completely true. I just looked him up on the penis chart, and I won't say too much. I'll just give you one line. I like Steve Sex Summers, by the way, but it says his chest feels like hugging a Christmas tree. And I figured in the honor of the holiday spirit, that's something that you should look. But you can read it.
To anybody that's paying attention, here's the deal. The guys in Pretty Boy Floyd and TUFF and me, it's all good. We're friends. But there's an arrangement that's been made, and there's a lot of people that harassed that band to a level that was, at some point, it was getting ugly. So there's just a few things that can't be talked about on the board. One of them is that band, and it is what it is. So, but me and Steve are buddies. We talk often, and at some point we'll probably end up doing some more shows in the same way, so to speak, including in Australia. So for anybody that goes on my board and types anything about that band, it's getting deleted and you're getting banned. End of story.
But Stevie is addressing it, and he's tells you why that's the band, because I got so many people asking about that. So now you know the answer. Okay. And everyone is
don't make me flex.
Yeah, Jesus. Johnny, did you see those biceps?
I think Johnny, my left one is better than my right one at this point.
So which way to the beach?
Yeah. All right. So anyway, all these great people tuned in. Stevie gave us some good prizes, great prizes, and whatever you didn't get, go buy one now at his website.
Yeah, I mean, again, we don't want me to have kids put up for adoption and Jason's cat, being put in a pound, a fucking adopt a cat pound because he can't fucking pay for the kibbles and bits.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see here. All right. Well, I think we've said it all. 2 hours 42 minutes. That's quite the entertainment. And like I said, some of these podcasters, you could probably see them at Rockin' Pod. They sit around and they talk about best classic albums. Who gives a shit? I don't know about you guys. I can't watch a podcast of
Right. Who wants to watch a podcast where three guys are talking about Kiss albums when you could tune in and watch three guys talk about other guys' dicks?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. We give quality entertainment for everyone. And, we don't talk about craft beer and all that other pretentious bullshit. This is a quality entertainment that I think everyone can relate to and enjoy. And tonight, Stevie, the hits on the penis chart are going to be going through the roof because everyone is going to be going.
Well, I mean, the fact that we've talked about penis for the last hour as Johnny sat and ate takeout and then decided whether he was going to flip the coin as to whether he would drink Dr. Pepper or root beer, it's clear that we have something special here.
I agree. And I think that
take a guess how many calories I just ate while we were talking. I added it all up.
So kind of like you guess how many condoms are in this bag.
That's right.
To guess how many calories.
Everything I had here just now. How many calories? I'm
going to say 1,450.
Nope, not even close.
Doug says
More or less.
1,700. I say it's at least 2,500. It's got to
You
be.
guys are crazy.
Well, what did you eat? I didn't see what you ate.
I drank 2 miniature Dr. Peppers. Those are 90 calories each.
Okay, 180.
So you already know you lost. And then I had
It's enough sugar to give you diabetes, but all right.
I had half of a meatball sandwich, which I don't know exactly how many calories that is, but I'm guessing it was probably somewhere around
400?
No, I'd say 300 tops.
Okay, so we're at 480 total.
And then I had that Hershey bar, which was
Is that what you call her?
210 calories.
Okay, so that's 590, 690.
That's it.
Okay, so I was going too high. I was thinking per day, but I guess yeah, for the meal.
Oh well, then if you add the other half of that sandwich in, I'm still under 1,000.
We had a few people guess 700.
Okay, so they were pretty close.
That's
So
all I
then-
had today was that and that other half of that meatball sandwich. So
So
I'm under 1,000.
whoever came the closest wins lunch with Johnny Monaco.
Wait,
on
you
the road.
just said on the heels of us talking about the penis chart and condoms, you just said whoever came the closest.
Right. That's right. They will get to spend a nice. Johnny will put out a spread, and
That
you guys.
sounds like there's that
No.
sounds like there's a Phil Lewis joke in there somewhere.
No, I only eat in restaurants, and also I am scarred by the John 5 thing, so that's all I can think about.
Scarred by the joke.
Johnny and I will be in McHenry, Illinois, and you can come say hello, and yeah, we'll read Peter's charts together if you like. All right, everyone's having a good time, and I guess we'll wrap it up. Check out Metal Sludge. Check out TUFF. If you're in Thailand and you have a good rate, if you want to see Stevie perform, please, only born a female. As you know, Stevie's not looking for a small lady boy anymore. So anyway, yeah, Jeffrey Smith, if you're in McHenry, come out and say hello to Johnny and I. This is a homecoming for Johnny.
All right, I forgot the garlic bread. You're right, and the salad. So maybe up to 800.
Okay.
Yeah, he's. All right, let's see here.
I
Okay,
also didn't know that those soda cans were the minis, so I was a little misled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't drink the whole one.
look at him shining up there, drinking out of a glass and everything. Johnny's quite the homemaker.
No, I only have 2 glasses.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you just drink it out of the can?
2 glasses and 1 spoon.
I drink it out of the glass because I like to feel like I'm in a restaurant.
Do you keep your pinky out?
Sometimes.
When Ron Jeremy used to suck his own cock, Sarah Silverman made the joke that he could keep his pinky out because it's classy. So
Yeah.
she knows.
Oh my God,
nice
you guys are fucking sick. You guys are disgusting.
All right, well, hopefully I'm still monetized. Hopefully I'm at 12,000. This Friday, Alan Childs is on the show, David Bowie, Julian Lennon. He's got a lot of amazing stories. Debbie Gibson, after David Bowie, he had a follow-up with Debbie Gibson. He talks about how the girls played Truth or Dare on the tour bus. And then new tour diary. If you're a patron of mine, you watch all the tour diaries in advance. And Christmas special, December 21st. You know, after all that dick talk, of course, we got to talk about the birth of Christ. And that'll be a great day. Thank you, guys. It was fun. We'll do it again.
Okay, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to everybody that tuned in, all the Sludgeaholics, all the TUFF fans. And yeah, support Jason's channel and all related. Support Johnny Monaco and his output, whether it's with Piercy or his local gigs. And of course, shop toughcds.com and shop Metal Sludge at the store. My kids are on the verge of being homeless and broke, and it's going to be a bad Christmas when they're in a shelter looking for a family to take them in.
Absolutely. And he's putting it lightly. So give until it hurts. much like what Stevie's penis is going to feel like in Thailand. All right, everyone. On that note, we wrap it up. Happy holiday. Well, I'll be back. I'm not going anywhere. I'll see you guys on Friday. And thank you.
I am.
Subscribe and
So
all
if I
that.
can figure out how to turn this thing off, I'm out.